to war against one another as our unplanned and uncoordinated industrial development expands, just as it happened in Europe. Unless we succeed in arresting the danger through mutual understanding on fundamental issues and through African unity, which will render existing boundaries obsolete and superfluous, we shall have fought in vain for independence. Only African unity can heal this festering sore of boundary disputes between our various states. Your Excellencies, the remedy for these ills is ready in our hands. It stares us in the face at every custom barrier. It shouts at us from every African heart. Then he continues, if we do not approach the problems in Africa with a common front and a common purpose, we shall be haggling and wrangling among ourselves until we are colonized again and become tools of a far greater colonialism than we suffered hitherto. Look, do we see ourselves as Africans? In 1997, when Ghana was 25 years, no. The former president of Tanzania, that time Tanganyika, Julius Nyerere came. He also gave a speech, it is here. And he confessed about how they did not understand Nkrumah's sense of urgency about uniting us.
He came to say the same thing in 2009 in UCC.
Thank you. It is about our Africanness. And I'm taking it from this angle to add my voice to say that our foreign affairs minister should take up this matter seriously, as he did with the South African one. I applauded him for that, and he should take this matter up. Of course, there are the legal questions. But whilst the legal part is going on, the diplomatic bit must not be ignored. Then we need to also appreciate that in the end, the call by former President John Akufo-Addo through his platform called the Africa Public Interest Media Initiative, APIMI, to connect individuals, person to person, whilst intergovernmental activities are going on, is critical. Critical for us to understand ourselves, that the artificial boundaries that we have, created by colonialism and imperial dominance and so on and so forth, can only be overcome with a common understanding amongst us. You come from the Western region. Your people are Hunter people, Nzima people. And I mean, I come from the savannah too. You know that the Moors, the Bunos and others along this side of the country, we have brothers and sisters in Cote d'Ivoire. Divided by boundaries. And we speak the same language.
Ours is Anyi. Anyi people of Cote d'Ivoire.
I mean, so the evidence is there that we need to overcome what has been artificially created to divide us and see ourselves. On this note, I want to urge the old man, once he's over 70, my father, Sam Jonah, that he should keep strong and that keep on the fight, whilst we are also urging the state at the governmental level to take up this matter.
Okay, I'm grateful.
But stay within the laws.
I'm grateful. Nana Boateng says, good morning, Sam. Special birthday to Mr. Cephas Amada, Director of Salaries Administration of Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Do have a blissful day. Cheers. Nana Boateng in Ablikuma Central, aka Dr. Baumia, will be president in 2028.
Sure.
Okay. Dr. Bruce Manche says, this is the inevitable outcome of sophistry and political sloganeering. While the Nkukon Ketsenketse project was conceived with good intentions, it was evidently ill-conceived in design. It has consequently degenerated into a complete fiasco. The sector minister has been left thoroughly exposed with no discernible or measurable outcomes to show. Manche Bruce II brought this one in. Okay, all right. Blueprint in Escado writes, the excessive arrest of opposition members is becoming one too many, and the NDC should not forget power is transient. Okay, all right.
Could you
That's
today is the birthday of Enima Afilabamoni. She's 3 years today.
Oh.
It's what? 3 years?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Okay. My boss in Takrade.
So the time he was released, he didn't even know the charges that were
against him. Okay. Kojo, with the current dispensation, the rules are also that you introduce yourself to the officers. This is in relation to our journalist, Moses in Takrade. Thank you. Well, Don Kofusen is Deputy Director General, National Security Authority. James.
National Service.
National Service. National Service.
He's saying he's fine somewhere.
James Kabrabon Junior, PhD, CEO of Census and lecturer UPSA. Alfred Mon is former president, Ghana Journalists Association. Alfred Thompson is former deputy director, NIB, and also national treasurer. Yes, the bank. Once he's been deputy CEO.
Use the last one.
Once he's been deputy CEO, then he's gunning to be national treasurer of the NPP.
Doctor said something.
After that time is up.
No, I know. He said something. It's very critical. You see how in the book and everything that he read, he was calling for that African unity. That is the same way we need a Ghana unity. Okay. We can only unite Africa if we've united as Ghanaians.
Okay.
It's very critical to look at that.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you very much. We'll take a break here. We have a conversation with the University of Ghana. You stay on for that. Stay.
Some courses that are being offered. When I was the minister, I challenged universities about that. And I spoke about we don't need anybody to offer courses called development studies. And it was being offered at UDS. So the vice chancellor called me the day after and said, Minister, because of the comment that you made, a student have just come to check out of development studies. And I said, it's good for him. Because you know, and I know that that course is not taking the student anywhere. You go to the University of Ghana and they have a course in education that they call BA in Education Non-Teaching. They come and do their national service, and after national service, they are frustrated because nobody is hiring them. So university degree to nowhere. So you wonder why you have graduate unemployment.
Let's get into this particular matter here and get a response from those in academia. Professor James Jessa is Dean, School of Education and Leadership. Prof, good morning. Thanks for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
Where do you disagree with the former minister?
So let me start off not about disagreement.
Okay.
About what universities do.
Okay.
So University of Ghana, we know the premier university in Ghana and have been doing education for almost close to 80 years. And if we take universities, the first thing universities do is to train students, transmit knowledge, impart knowledge.
For what?
And knowledge is used for all kinds of things.
Really?
Without knowledge, I would not be having this conversation right now.
Okay.
And I'm sure you invite people to your studio because you believe they have specific knowledge that will address specific questions and issues you want to send to them.
Sure.
So critical thinking is one of the major things universities do. You see, as far back as 1690, the Council of University of Columbia in the US, in their report, they said that the performance of the students in that university were poor because 3 professors wrote books. 3 professors wrote books. In other words, because at the time, the thinking about universities is that they should teach students. Research was something that was unthinkable. So the professors doing research and writing books was seen as problematic. So, but today, when we think of university, we think about research. It has now come to be added to the function of teaching people. These days, universities are also being seen as places where jobs can be created, places where business ideas can come from, what we call the third mission. That is taking the knowledge from the classroom to the marketplace. And it's being debated as to whether that is what university is supposed to do. But if you are dealing with unemployment issues and so on and so forth, people believe that if you train students who are able to create opportunities for themselves, who are able to create opportunities so that other people can be engaged, will be one of the things that will help societies, because government alone are unable to create jobs. But fundamentally, universities are not warehouses where people go and take degrees for jobs. The first thing is knowledge.
So are you saying that what people say that universities must train graduates which are market ready is not something we should look at?
I think fundamentally that is wrong. It's wrong in the sense that you cannot move someone from the classroom to the office space. There are transition points.
Which is?
And the transition points are that universities produce knowledge, industries also produce certain kind of knowledge. That is the practical knowledge, which they need to also impart to those people. So when we train people with critical thinking skills, the expectation is that they, under any circumstance, those knowledge are things that they can translate, imbibe what the industry will give them, and then they will be ready. Because I don't want to believe that you move straight from wherever you have your communication degree, straight from there to the classroom or to the studio. There are on-the-job training. So people often miss those intermediations. They assume that this degree will give you this job. It is not true.
But over the years, even some scholars have had the course to advise universities to train people who are market ready, to train people that industry can use. Are you saying those were made on assumption that the university was not supposed or is not supposed to train these people for industry?
So when they say university is supposed to train people who are market ready, you see, what they meant is that they have critical thinking and analytical skills. That's what I'm saying. So if our graduates are not having those critical thinking and analytical skills, there's a problem there. Because that is what the universities will do.
Okay,
for example, just 1 minute, one second. Especially these days that we are dealing with a lot of technology, right? We cannot sit here and pretend we know the direction that tomorrow's jobs will take. Because there are a lot of research activities happening in research labs, in the universities, in industry, and in private offices. And this new technology that will come may drive us into new directions. So how will the universities respond to those new technology? That is why you need graduates who have critical thinking skills to adapt to any situation. That is what I'm saying. So when they say we should train people to be ready, what they meant is that your knowledge that you're supposed to impart should be up to speed, that the students can transition.
So when the university trains a mechanical engineer, an auto mechanical engineer who cannot dismantle a car engine, who cannot really get a broken down car to work again, what is that?
So let's look at this. So there is always input and output, right? So if it happens that universities in Ghana train engineers who are unable to do the practical aspects of their engineering, because there is the theoretical aspect and then there is the practical aspect. If we cannot train them to do the practical aspect, we need to take a back seat as a country to look at ourselves and see, are we providing the right instruments for these our students to use? I haven't been trained in Canada, worked in the Canadian system. When I was lecturing in University of Saskatchewan, most of the Ghanaians and my colleagues who came there to do education, whatever research project they are working on for their thesis, the materials for that are always coming from a company. So the research labs are linked to companies who provide the materials, so that when they use these materials for their research, the findings as to whether what are the limitations, what are the potential areas that these can go to the marketplace and span, those companies often have the right of first refusal. In other words, they have the right to take these innovations forward because they provide the materials that are used in the lab. Do we have the same collaboration in the Ghanaian system? If we don't, and you know we are talking about auto mechanics, again, the technology that those cars are coming with, right? Because these days when you go, it is not the old-time mechanics, even the mechanic, the roadside. People now are able to put, right, machines on the car to read them. Now, when the machine diagnoses the car, you need to interpret what it means.
Yeah, but if the university is doing research, as you say, then they should know. They should know that new technology, how do we train the kids, the students to adapt to these new technologies?
So that is why I'm saying that, yes, universities may be doing research, but in our context, I gave you the example of a different...
of Canada.
In our context, do we have the materials? Now, I was listening to you when you were having this discussion, even the structure of the Ghanaian economy and those things comes in. Because if you are so much import dependent, right, it is difficult if your cars on the roads have all been imported. And we can even talk about the ones being manufactured here as to whether it is manufactured or just assembled. It impacts the way you train your engineers.
Okay.
Because yes, University of Ghana has a partnership with Toyota.
Yes.
There. But is Toyota making the cars in Ghana or they are assembling the cars? If I go to that place and I'm only observing assemblages, the things, how they are produced before you are to even assembling them are different things, right? So, yes, there may be a disconnect between what the universities do and what the society expects. And that disconnect is a good thing. We need to discuss and say, how do we fix them? How do we provide the technical tools that our students need?
Okay. So yes, you are, the former minister said programs like development studies are not, you don't agree with him to understand that, well, maybe we should look at the sort of courses we run in the universities.
Actually, I would be surprised for someone to say development studies is not important.
So you are surprised at him?
I would be surprised.
So are you surprised at him?
I'm not sure. He's not talking to me one-on-one. I know you play video. These days, we live in a country where people get up and say it is not them or it is something. But granted, he said that it actually provides us an opportunity as universities to re-examine. I am a trained sociologist. I did sociology of development. And I can tell you countless things that development studies entails. It's not only UDS that development studies. ISA, that's the development policy. Are we going to say ISA is not relevant in this country in terms of research? Development study equip us. If our governments are going to go for loans, we learn the conditions that are often imposed on loans. So if you don't understand development studies, if you don't understand how you are where you are, how do you improve? It's important. So is he talking that the one who studies development studies cannot just walk into Joy FM or walk into a factory in Tema to work? Is that the issue? Or the one who studies development studies is not capable of understanding policy issues and making policy recommendations for us to move forward? Development studies is fantastic. Look at the top 5 universities in the world that offer development studies. University of Sussex, Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard. Would they be offering development studies if it is useless? Putting resources in. The top universities in the world you can think of offers development studies. Now, so, you know, often, sometimes we can say that today some course is not relevant. But again, when I mentioned about we don't know the jobs of tomorrow. Someone will go to school now and go and do linguistics. My own vice chancellor is a linguist person. But you know how linguistics, especially the research work of Noam Chomsky, in terms of how computers can understand human languages, transform computer science. So when we go now on the computer, we do things about language. It came from research in linguistics. If someone is doing linguistics in the University of Ghana, what are the job prospects? Can we say that, oh, this person will have a job? But the technology we are using is transformed by that discipline. Steve Jobs, of course, he dropped out from Reed College, but he said that he was inspired by calligraphy that he studied. Calligraphy is simply, you know, the study of different writings. So the design of Apple products was from that calligraphy.
Yeah.
In Ghana, if somebody wants to go and study calligraphy, what are we going to say?
I remember when I was young and we hear people studying dondology. We're laughing at them. We're like,
today,
you know?
Today, if we say let's showcase Ghanaian culture and what, where do we go to? We have to go to the School of Performing Arts.
Yeah.
Because they are the repositories of our culture. You see, so educational subjects in and out of themselves are not useless because we live in a world that deals with multi-disciplines. You need input from different disciplines to see the way forward. You know, 9/11, before 9/11, most universities in the US stopped doing Arabic.
Okay.
They stopped Arabic. There was no funding. Department closed. Then September 11th attack happened. All of a sudden, we need to understand, right, the social well-being, worldview of these people who attack us. How are you going to get into their life world to understand? You need those who understand the language.
Oh, but for a country like Ghana, which is a developing country, we are confronted by several challenges. Mustn't universities then design programs to help us deal with our challenges and probably shelve those that, because as you say, Arabic, Ghana, it won't be a challenge to us, or will it? Is it part of the challenge that confront us? We are faced by flooding issues. We are faced by, you know, even now, Agric not really living up to where it has to. Mustn't universities be concerned by programs that help us to deal with our everyday challenges than to look at, okay, development studies, this is good, that is good, when really we have some pertinent ones that we need to deal with?
So, you see, society evolves over time. Today's challenges may be different from tomorrow's challenges. So, if you are more or less doing the tunnel vision of addressing issues, this is the issue we face today, let's address it, tomorrow we'll address.
Okay.
You see, universities, especially knowledge systems, take a long time to build, especially building your capacities. So if you don't invest, for example, in my School of Education and Leadership, we have a Bachelor of Education Arabic. Because we need, if you look at Ghana, right, a lot of investment, religious activity and things that happens in Ghana, Arabic is there. We are doing Chinese. China has become more or less the largest economy in the world, right? And we are doing it. So we've been doing Swahili for years. Who knows, tomorrow that might be the language of Africa. We now have AFTA that will open opportunities. So the issue is that you cannot wait until you think the time has come for you to now start doing the program. The people who often benefit from the knowledge systems are the ones who persist even when people do not see the need for it. Because you need to cultivate over time. So yes, we have challenges about sanitation. University of Ghana have been dealing with this. It's not like Ghana, we don't really know the problems. We do. We do. And the research is out there. So the uptake, we need to have that conversation. The uptake of research work that our universities are doing, and then when the state wants to do things, where do we start from? Because often, you know, the indigenous knowledges are often disregarded because they are not coming from more or less the donor places.
Yeah.
So the donors will give you money. They indirectly want you to take their experts in addition to the money they are giving you, because they become the consultant to do things for you. That's what knowledge development studies will give you. Okay. So you know what term of terms you should go when you are going to take loans and so forth, basically.
So that's why when they wanted to stick in LGBT issues in our schools, we were able to say development studies will give us that.
So you know, because there is no such thing as disinterested aid.
Okay.
There's no such thing. Every $1 that goes into Red Cross and so, first of all, 90% of that will pay salaries of the workers there. The remaining 10% may actually get to the victims. Right? So you know this from basic development studies, because there are staff. World Bank have staff that are employed. They need to be paid.
But people who didn't study development studies were able to see that the purpose behind what they were trying to do.
How were they able? Because of the knowledge that the researchers in development studies have put there for us to understand. So basically what I'm trying to say is that we should not cherry pick courses, right? In Ghana, I'm sure you are aware, there was a time ago, the go-to courses were MBA and so on and so forth. Business administration, that's where everybody was going. Today it is law. Today law has become the fashion. Tomorrow, can you tell me what will be there? We don't know. But if you go to law today, you cannot take law in isolation. The law is dealing with all the other subjects, right? That are there, and they build on them. So we cannot discard some and say they are not fit for purpose. Then we say this is what we are supposed to focus on. Because in that clip that you played, for example, the understanding was that we need engineers and so on and so forth. But you cannot have only society of engineers. You cannot. See, for example, I always tell my students that our engineers need to understand the sociology of the trotro driver, for example, when they design roads. The trotro driver will pick the passenger wherever they find them. So often you can see the bus stops that they design with our road. They don't work. They don't work for two things. One, the passenger also knows that wherever I stop, the trotro driver will pick me. So they don't even go to the bus stop properly. And the trotro driver will park anywhere to pick it. So if you understand this sociology of the trotro driver, if you're going to design road next time, will you put the bus stop next to the main road itself, or you probably want them to get off the road somewhere else? Then again, we carry things. As a developing country, we carry goods on our head. If you go to our market, the way they are organized. Yes, delivery services are happening now, but largely people in the market carry things on their heads. Will you design roads that pass through markets for the cars going down and the people carrying going up? If you understand the sociology of the Ghanaian, the development context, the cars rather should be going up when the people should use the ground. That is why if you go to Madina Zongo Junction, in spite of the foot bridges, people still want to cross the road. Because I'm not going to carry that heavy load and go 5 feet up trying to descend. What about if you miss a step? What happens? So the sociology of the Ghanaian must fit into the engineering. So for example, so we may have engineering courses that are not speaking to the social science courses, that are not speaking to the business courses. Those are the things that we should be pushed as universities to look at in terms of how we connect the knowledges from the social sciences and the biological and the physical natural sciences. And then, of course, this will feed into our socialization of our citizens in terms of how modern society is supposed to run. So yes, this conversation is important, but we should not cherry pick which courses should be done and which ones are not to be done because of the interconnectivity in terms of the development process.
You're saying someone like him who came from the United States education system, haven't understood that system, and that he doesn't know that this exists and that we as a country do not deserve certain programs.
So there are differences between the US system and the Ghanaian system, right? So the Ghanaian system is so different. We have a national exam that people write and go to universities, you know, and they basically, in Ghana, you know, students usually specialize from the high school. They don't do that in the US. They don't do that in Canada. You don't specialize in high school in Canada, for example, in the US. Yeah, you take courses. The guidance and counselors are able to see your interest and advise you to take certain courses, elective maths here and there, some courses, so that when you get in there. So often, for example, you see that to go into medicine, to go into even education and so on, you don't start from first year. They go to year 3, taking all the university courses
to determine what you want to do.
Our system is different. So we should be careful about importing wholesale what works in other jurisdictions to our jurisdiction, because we have peculiar differences.
Prof, I'm grateful to you for this morning.
Thank you very much.
Professor James Gisa is Dean, School of Education and Leadership. He has a lecture, we have to leave him, you know, but quite an insightful discussion this morning. Happy birthday to you, Dr. John Kennedy Anyawu. Wishing you a day full of joy and a year ahead marked by continued success, good health, and fulfillment. Your kindness, humility, and depth of knowledge are qualities that inspire everyone privileged to work with or learn from you. Your leadership at DCL is a testament to your vision and commitment to excellence. May this new chapter bring you even greater achievements, lasting happiness, and abundant blessings. Happy birthday, and may you continue to impact lives and lead with wisdom. So happy birthday once again to you, Dr. John Kennedy Anyawu. This is the AM show. We'll take a break. When we return, we have the trends. We're here on the show. Do stay on. All right, welcome back to the AM show. Now, Global Prayer Work Summit 2026, when men pray, heaven responds. Prayer still works, and this is your invitation to experience the power of prayer. Join the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams and other anointed servants of God at the Action Chapel International Prayer Cathedral, Spintex Road, from Wednesday 15th to Friday 17th July. Now, the Wednesday service starts at 5:30 p.m. Thursday, 16 July, features a morning service at 9 a.m. and an evening service at 5:30 p.m. Then on Friday, 17th July, join the morning service at 9 a.m., followed by a powerful mega all night at 10 p.m. Come, expect powerful encounters under the theme Enforcing Victory. This event is free, but registration is required. So simply dial *426*29# on all local networks, or register online via the GPWS registration page. Now, don't miss GPWS Accra 2026. Come and enforce your victory through prayer. Prayer still works. But happy birthday to you, Gertrude Dede Nyamedi and Juliet Boateng from Makers House Chapel International. Biggest birthday to you, Gertrude Dede Nyamedi and Juliet Boateng from Makers House Chapel International. That's it for you. Let's take it back to the EOCO, where my colleague James Adveji is standing by to give us updates on what's happening there with the intended picket of the place by MPP, party faithfuls. James, what can you tell us from there now?
Thank you, and an hour or so ago when we spoke, I established the fact that no identifiable member of the New Patriotic Party is currently here at the IOCO headquarters. But I also mentioned to you that some two persons, member of the National Communications team, Senyor Maklenu, and one other person have gone in there to have a word with IOCO officials, and when they come back, we'll be having some details from them. If you look around, there are some persons surrounding me here. They are largely journalists and bloggers who are around, all ready, their cameras set and microphones ready to, for the arrival of the party officials as well as supporters of the party, for this picket to begin, or protest to begin. But I can tell you that 2.5 hours into that, the members of the party are yet to arrive here, and those who are here are still, a few minutes ago, the police vehicle that brought in the police officers moved away and left the officers around, and the officers, you can see, are still manning the gate, the entrance of the IOCO. Let's pick some update from Senyo, who's been in there and back. Senyo, first of all, establish for us whether Dennis Miracles Abuaji is in there.
Yes, Dennis is in the premises.
But have you been able to see him personally?
Well, we've not been given the access to, get in touch with him. And as it stands now, one of my colleagues is there, Goodfellow is in there, but he has not been granted the access, or he's not been allowed to have access to him, and it is a bit of worry to us.
Because what is he doing there?
Well,
what did he go in there?
He is there to give him food, because since yesterday, Dennis has not eaten. He's on hunger strike. We need to give him water. We need to give him food. So since morning, we've been here around 7:30 just to ensure that we have access to our brother and also offer him some good food to eat whilst we find our way around in ensuring that he's released. But
that means that even the items he sent in, he's not been able to deliver it to him.
He has been told that he will not be granted access to him until orders from above. That is what he's been told.
Orders from above say,
and that is what I don't understand.
That nobody should have access to him.
What they keep telling us is orders from above. He will not have access to him.
But have we been able to establish the reason he's been arrested? It's been over 12 hours. What are his lawyers saying?
Well, that's a very fantastic question you've asked. But one question that we should also be worried about is that has his lawyers been given access? His lawyers has not been given access. They've not been granted access since yesterday. And it's a concern to us because since yesterday till now, his lawyers have not been granted access. His family has not been granted access. The party members have not been granted access. His close allies have not been granted access. It's a concern to us. And we are asking ourselves, what does the law say? The law is very explicit. Unless if for nothing at all, your lawyers should be present to speak for you. But Remunacha and his assigns and the NDC government, they have refused to allow access to any of us.
Where was he? We are told that he was picked up at the airport. Where was he going, or where was he returning from?
Well, as to where he's returning from, that I'm unable to, expatiate that on your live program. But what I can tell you is that it does not make sense for you to allow.
Is he embarking on a journey or he was on a return?
You see, whether he was embarking or returning, it does not make sense for you to allow somebody to fly out of the country and then upon his return, you are picking him up. Like, you ask yourself that, does it make any arguable sense? No, it doesn't. Because you allow the person to use your exits. Then upon his return, you are arresting him in a Rambo style, acrobatic way. Macho. Like, you just cannot phantom the whole thing.
But has he ever received any invitation from the IOCO, or as a party, have you had any indication whether Dennis is on the list of for any? If it is IOCO, we can only presume that he's been picked up for any financial issue. Have you been able to establish whether he's been able to get any invitation from IOCO?
Well, that is a worry to us, because in any proper jurisdiction, the first thing that we know of as far as the law is concerned is that if you have been, caught up by any misconduct or probably alleged to have involved yourself in any malfeasance, the law gives room for you to be invited to come and respond to whatever they have seen. But in this case, Dennis was not invited. Whether was he written to? Whether was the party written to? So you ask yourself, what kind of law is Raymond Acha and the NDC government using? They are not following the laid down procedures. All they do is to bash barge into your house, arrest you, barge into the airport, pick you up in a Rambo style. Is that what the law tells us? These are questions the media, I think you need more answers from, more importantly from Raymond Atta and the NDC government.
It's almost 3 hours. I've seen the two of you with the other gentleman, three of you here. Where are the members of your party? Where's the leadership of your party?
The members of our party are still trooping in. Leadership of the party, some of them are around. They are actually finding their way around to ensure that access is granted to Dennis, because he is a priority for which we are here. So if all the leadership are here and they are unable to have access to the gentleman, then it tells us that our reason for being here is in futility. So some of them are around. They are working around the clock to see to it that Dennis is released this morning. But like I said, the members of the party, they've started trooping in. We are hoping that more of them will troop in, that at the end of the day, the reason for which we have converged over here is for the release of Dennis Aboagye Miracle.
If that doesn't happen, what will be the decision of the party?
Well, if he is not released, we'll continue to press for answers. And we are very certain in our mind that answers will be given to us and the right thing will have to be done.
Thank you. And that's Senor McClellan, he is a member of the National Communications Team for the New Patriotic Party. One of those who we came to meet here at about 7:30 a.m. Together with Coca, and they've been in and out of the IOCO headquarters. A few things he's been able to establish for us. One is that he can confirm that Dennis is in here. Two, he has still not been granted access to his lawyers or any of his family members. And three, that they have sent in items, their food together with other toiletries, but the IOCO has prevented them from delivering those items to Dennis Miracles Aboagye. As we speak, the party members are yet to come, but the indication he is giving us is the assurance that, of course, the party members as well as the leadership will be here in order to press home their demand. If their demand of an immediate release is not met, they will continue to stay here. Before I let go, Brace, this is how the entrance of the IOCO headquarters look like. Earlier, there was a pickup parked on the pavement there with about 7-8 officers of the Ghana Police Service, and they have been dropped off and the pickup drove away. You see a number of the officers manning the gate, some still in there, and we expect that if the crowd grows a bit larger, more police officers will come in and to control traffic as well as to ensure the safety of both protesters and officers who will be occupying here in the course of the day. That's the latest we get in. And so we're still waiting for members of the party as well as leaders of the New Patriotic Party to come here to undertake the scheduled protest or picketing that they have scheduled to happen today. Brace.
I'm grateful to you, James Avaji, but still will be there to give us update as in how this will go, but I'm grateful. James Aviji there. Now, we are hearing from IOCO that they will be issuing a statement shortly on this particular development. Why they've picked up Dennis Miracles Aboagye, and for close to 24 hours, his friends, they say, cannot hear from him. His lawyers have not done so. So please, we will be getting you all of that, and when we hear from IOCO, we'll let you know as well. It's been quite a day from 6 a.m. till this time. Thank you for staying with us. We have a date, God willing, tomorrow. But as we have already told you, and that's okay. So this is not on your screen, but you could see, well, okay, so we'll put it there now. Goodfellow, who is a working partner of Dennis, because in communication they do a lot of work together, especially for the Dr. Bawumia campaign team. They too were working on the media. He just went into the IOCO gate a while ago. You heard Senor say that he's been there, he's been trying to see Dennis. They have not been able to give him that permission to see him, and they're asking why that is the case. IOCO says they will speak, would wait for them to speak, but people are asking questions. Why keeps a suspect away from his lawyer when that is his right? Because the law says every suspect must have access to a lawyer and also must have access to his family. So why is he not being given access to his family? That's question or questions that a lot of people are asking. And we'll be there at the Yoko office to get you all the details that will be coming up. This has been AM Show. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace, like I do always. But I say, Kebukari show Renaissance, Bezabezime, Walzro, Aguna Roman Park. You say, Yelabila say, Mobo Robo Walma de Belane, Hall of Tortilla. And Yalmaze, why and Eira, man, die Kizri, a woman and die, a way, you know, Mobile Mardia and Dani would Cabalane, but modern Naba Banga, more Nema, Audoso, a Hobo, I had a black Rebesako, Udo Kobo, Udon, Tisezi, Bonama, Udo, Hobo, Vamamze. Thank you very much for being with us. We'll meet again, God willing, tomorrow. We have World Cup update coming up for you here on the channel right after me. Thank you very much. We'll meet again, God willing, tomorrow.
We started this journey 8-9 years ago, and then also we went for a show. At that time, you know, when we're playing, he heard us playing, and then he was like, "Yo, the guys are good."
Oh, it's been like you always have to be on your toes to learn.
He said that we share this together.
Why?
He said, I try my head.
Wow.
Most of the songs that we play out there try to change one or two things to make it fresh from other previous performances.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to The Pulse. This broadcast is live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, and on all our social media handles. We're Joy News on TV. We take you live to the Yoko headquarters as lawyers for Dennis Miracles Abuaje moved to secure his release while party supporters thronged the streets demanding that he be freed immediately.
I don't want to 48 hours now, Constitution is said. And said you keep moving beyond 48 hours. That's where we are.
Until council will prepare for habeas corpus.
Oh, not necessarily. Me, I would rather prefer bail.
We're live at the Yoko headquarters for the latest as the investigative body reveals Dennis Miracles Abuaje is arrested over alleged financial misappropriation to the tune of 55 million cedis. The $91 million three-tiered motorway interchange is fast becoming a symbol of neglect, with tricycle waste collectors illegally dumping refuse on sections of the facility.
For no mushada pa eno mu yesa ambe fa bola no bola abobo ya ne ntimi mfa na no mo fa sesi akaba ko bia be sesia ena me ka che madam fo ni se o we mpo de minim no no mpo de o hyiegu wa enda mema ya be che no.
The multimedia group condemns the assault of its OT regional correspondent, Obrimpomba Kwame Owusu, by persons believed to be military personnel enforcing the curfew in Inkwanta South. The company is calling for a thorough investigation into the incident. Dagbon is in mourning following the death of Iyana Mahama Abukari II, the king of Dagbon, after 15 years on the skin. The latest of these and many other stories are coming up shortly. The Pulse is brought to you by Defendril Cough Expectorant. Defendril, breathe easy, feel better. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, see you in a moment. Welcome to the program. Lawyers for Dennis Miracles Aboagye are currently in negotiations with the Economic and Organized Crime Office, YOCO, to secure his release. It is clear now that he was arrested for an alleged involvement in a financial misappropriation amounting to 55 million cedis. That is according to YOCO. Party supporters have thronged the streets of YOCO to protest his arrest and demand his release. First, this was the atmosphere as reported by my colleague James Aveji a while ago.
That they have in the morning attempted to send him some food items as well as some toiletries, but the YOCO officers will not allow for him to for them to get access to him. You see there one person trying to bring a lorry tire on the road to block the road or set it ablaze, but you see the police officer there preventing him from bringing the lorry tire onto the road to put that on the road. So dozens of the party supporters are now here on the streets of YOCO registering their displeasure as part of the Release Dennis Miracles Aboagye Now protest. You see the officer there trying to prevent them still from bringing the tires. Another person here is sending in a motorbike tire to the road, but the police officer there trying to calm him down, asking him politely to send back the motorbike tire from the road. But you see some of them still on their motorbikes parked on the road, in the median of the road, as well as other parts of the road, cladded in red armbands on their head and on their wrist as part of the displaying their displeasure over the continuous arrest of Dennis Miracles Aboagye. So this is how the streets look like. This is how the street is looking like. Let's get to speak to some of them who are currently here. Boss, let's know you. Can I assume that you are the leader for the support?
Yes, I am a member of the National Communications Team as well. My name is Benjamin Jawapia, aka Bengazi.
Why did it take you guys so long to come? The scheduled time was 7 a.m.
Well, you see, when we had when we heard the news yesterday, we were trying to gather our base, and in fact, these are the supporters of Miracles Aboagye. In fact, what is happening in our country is very sad, and that is why we are coming out in our numbers to make sure that at the end of the day we see Miracle with us. If we don't see Miracles with us, there's going to be a lot of, destruction on the road.
I'm sure that the demand is for his release. Yes. What have you been hearing from the other leadership of the party with regards to his arrest, his current condition, and access to lawyers?
In fact, this morning when I spoke to a very close associate of Miracles, Goodfellow had already told me that he had come to YOCO and that the lawyers were working on his bail conditions. So as we speak, we just want to make sure, because we have seen enough precedents where people are kept in prison or in cell custody for more than 48 hours. As I speak to now, this morning I had a chance to speak to Miracle's wife. He says Miracle is on medication. That is our fear. That is our fear, that they release him on time. We've seen the likes of Abronya and others being in custody for over 3 days, 4 days, some up to 7 days and others. So that's our fear. We are pleading with the president to talk to Raymond Acha to release Miracles Aboagye for us. That is all that we are asking for. If by close of day, if we do not hear anything, our demonstration will continue, our protest will continue to when we see Miracles finally with us.
Okay, but I'm sure the request of the police so that they can get this under control is that your boys should not bring the tires onto the road. I hope you will talk to them.
Well, I'll talk to the guys. Okay. In fact, this is not a safe situation, but I'll talk to them. I'll do my best to manage the situation. You see the numbers that we came in with. All that we are asking is that Mr. President should act. There's been enough precedents where people are being kept without, within the lawful mandate that they are supposed to be out. That's all that we are asking.
What's your name again?
Benjamin Jawapia. My name is, I'm a member of the MPP Communications Team.
Benjamin.
Friend of Miracles as well.
Thank you, Benjamin. And he identifies himself as a member of the National Communications Team of the NPP, who's been speaking to us and said he is leading the rest of the team as the police continue to urge them to leave the road and also take off the lorry tires as well as the motorbike tires that they were trying to bring onto the road one lane of the road, as you can see, has been cleared. Some few minutes ago, they had taken over the 2 lanes, but the police have been able to get them onto the one side of the road, one carriage of the road now, to allow for traffic to flow at the other side of the road. I mean, what's the update now? Are the officers, the leaders of the party coming? And so I'll come back to stay with me, but I mean, they've been able to talk to the boys to clear the other side of the road now, and so they are now leaving the other side of the road to give a clearance for the 2 sides of the road now for traffic. No, we are moving to the other side. You are moving to the other side, which means that the traffic coming from the high street down
is to ensure that they just tell us where he is. What is wrong? Is he an animal? That John Dramani Mahama treats people like animals?
But when I spoke to Senyo earlier, he said they have concrete indication that he's in there.
But so we want to see him. We brought him here, no food, no water. Why? That order from presidency. What is it?
Is that what they are telling you?
That is what they are telling us from that order from presidency. Now we are.
Is it order from above or order from presidency?
He said order from presidency.
Okay.
Now they brought in men that the policemen are telling the motorbikers if they do, they will beat them.
I cannot confirm that, but I'm sure you and the boys would collaborate with the police to make this as peaceful as you.
No, we are saying that we are going to be here till we get. They should come and tell us something. Oh, he is here. We are doing ABCD. We are humans. Rule of war must work. But when you don't know where the person is, how do you work? How do you relate? That is what we are saying.
How is his boss taking this now? Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who he speaks to, he will be coming here.
You will hear from the General Secretary very soon. Okay. The General Secretary, you know, the lawyers have been here, they've been denied, so there is a meeting going on to ensure that we know exactly what is going on and then what the strategy is.
Thank you very much. Koka there. So this side of the road is clear. The side coming from Tudu to the high street is cleared now, and the boys have moved to the other side of the road. The traffic flowing from the Kwame Nkrumah Park area, from the Supreme Court area now towards Tudu has entirely been blocked now as they continue to chant for miracle to be released. Free miracle! 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 And they have started marching on the streets now. I'm sure this is going to be a procession up and down. This is going to be a procession up and down the streets here in front of the IOCO headquarters, and the demand from the members of the party is for an immediate release of the communications officer for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, that is Miracle Abuaji, who have been arrested from Sunday. We now know him from some officials that he was arrested on Saturday. The reason for his arrest is still yet unknown, and we have been told he's still in the custody of the IOCO. The party issued a statement on Sunday demanding for his immediate release, under which they have gathered here today to undertake a protest to press home their demand. The youth organizer for the party, Mr. Salam, let's have a conversation. Any idea as we speak what the situation is?
Still, like I said, no access. Order from above. That's what's going on. So until Raymond Archer appears from wherever he is to come and give the orders, our brother will keep sitting behind the counter in the cell.
So that's the situation at the Yoko head office a while ago, as reported by my colleague James Aveji. We will go back to James shortly, but first, Yoko has released a statement a couple of hours ago on the matter, and here's what it says. We'll definitely bring you that statement shortly, but let's cross over now to the headquarters of Yoko, where we understand supporters are still massing up. James Aveji is joining me for the very latest. James, what more can you tell us? Has he finally been released?
Ken, I can tell you that the protesters are still in the median of the road now. Just a while ago, some officers of the Ghana Armed Forces or the military trooping here, I counted about 7 of them with other men in jackets inscripted on as national security. 10 of them walked into the Yoko entrance. And then just when they came out to the road, 3 more pickup vehicles arrived with national security operatives who insisted that the protesters should get off the road, and they did some negotiations with them. Moses Abo is here with me, and he is also a member of leadership of the party who is in the next election, I believe. Mr. Abo, you were in the thick of the negotiations with the military officers and the national security. What was their message to you?
Well, thank you. I think we have been here since morning with the police. I mean, we demand justice. We feel what was going on is not good. So we're mass up here, I mean, trying to see exactly what is going on. Our lawyers are inside. The police are here with us, please. I don't know if the national security and the military feels they know better than the Ghana police. And then I think I'm sorry. However, I'm not even talking about that. We saw the NDC foot soldiers who was also came in with the 3 pickups. I mean,
are they foot soldiers or they are national security operatives?
Foot soldiers. I know some of them.
You check to identify the identity.
You know, I'm a grassroots person. Yeah. I'm a street boy.
Of course.
And I know them very well.
Of course. If you put the allegation out there, I just have to ask further confirmation.
You can go there, ask questions, request for their card, and see whether they are national security operative. You see, they shouldn't turn the thing into MPP and DC.
What did they come to do? What did they tell you?
I mean, sacking people without any reason. And I asked them a question. I asked the military officer a question. So is it that the police people who are here, they don't know what they are doing? Because we have been here since morning, and it seems like everything is going on well. The kind of tension that you brought in, you're trying to create a whole lot of things. If we had not talked to our people, maybe by now we don't know what would have happened. So you see, and the military man who is leading, I saw his name was Abulai. I asked him a question. He's a military man. He's not an NDC party member. And he's not even looking at my face. And the way he's talking, leave here. I mean, we are not children. You understand? We are Ghanaian, and there's a peace in this country. And we still want the peace. You understand what I'm trying? So they should allow the police to do their work. We have been doing this thing for long. But the NDC think that arresting our people is what that will help them. And every time they arrest, we'll also do what? Come and make sure.
The situation is extremely calm now. I see your members in the median of the road and on the shoulders of the road. Traffic is flowing on both sides of the road. Do we have the assurance or the guarantee that this will continue as the lawyers push to get miracles out?
This has been something that has been happening all the time. And since morning, this is what we are doing. Since morning, this is what we are doing. So what they are doing, what are they trying to say? They are trying to create tension. You understand what I'm trying? It's not the best. So now they are trying to tell Ghanaians that the police does not know their job or what.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm asking a question. I don't know if you can give an answer. Because these are Ghana Police Service. Their duty is to enforce law and order. And that is what they are doing. And what these guys are doing, what they are doing...
Which means you do not agree with the presence of the military and the national security here? Is that the sense I get?
I'm talking about the party foot soldiers who has taken over the what? The work of the police. That is what I'm asking. I don't have problem. Nobody can come and intimidate me because I know my right. But all what I'm saying is that what they are doing is not good.
Okay. On the substantive issue, before I let you go, what's the latest? What are we learning?
Well, so far, an hour ago, the information I had is that they have now allowed the lawyer to be part of the interrogation. So we are yet to find out what happens. You understand?
You are positive he will be released today?
I know he has not done anything. If he has done something, they should put him before court. Because this is not his first time he has been coming here. Why do you wait for him to travel once he's coming down before you will arrest him? That is not fair.
Thank you. Let me end here and continue with Mr. Tete. But thank you. You just arrived to the scene. What do you make of what you've seen so far?
Well, it's a demonstration, and what we are saying that you've picked up somebody for how many hours, we don't know where he is, we don't know the purpose of his arrest. You've seen many Ghanaian young people who love democracy, who want the state of our institutions of our state to work in the conformity of the laws. So if the public is briefed about the purpose of his arrest, why he's been arrested, where he is up to now, I'm not sure you see people massing up here. That is why you see many people, and all of us, we are concerned about the fundamental human right of every Ghanaian, irrespective of a political divide. We are here to ensure that the institutions of state works in accordance with the law. What is wrong if you arrest somebody? What is the arrest for? It's not a criminal. What is he being invited? You can invite him. He can attend upon the invitation with his lawyers. And then people know, his family, his friends, the loved ones will know where he is at this moment. The party and the generality of our Ghanaians are helpless. That is why we are here. But I think that what is the culture of silence the NDC want to bring into this country since they took office, I mean, it's appalling to the extent that their own ministers are concerned about how they are using the institutions of states to intimidate their opponent. And I think that the future is pregnant. We won't continue to be quiet in this country for them to trample upon the fundamental human rights of generality of the Ghanaian populace.
For those who may not know you, I want you to introduce yourself to them, and then you conclude on the fact that the reason is clear now. The Oko said he was involved in the misappropriation of some 55 million Ghana cedis. What do you make of that?
Well, anybody can make an allegation. Once somebody makes an allegation against you, Dennis Miraculous Abuaje is not running away from this country. He's a very vocal voice. He's a strong personality in our body politics. He will not run away and go anywhere. I'm not sure in the confines of the Yoko's cells, that is where they will even adjudicate the matters. Invite him, let him make his statement, then you take him through the process. He was picked up at the airport. If it's a financial malfeasance, whatever it is, it remains an allegation. He has a right to counsel. He has a right to be informed why he was picked. Of course, the law will take its course. Since they came into office, how many people haven't they arrested? Some of them, they've still not even concluded investigations. It's one too many. It's one too many. Nobody, none of us, nobody who has served in any previous capacity will run away from justice. So all that we are saying is that there must be transparency, there must be fair treatment. Look, there are many allegations against this government. Are you not here when a member of parliament alleged that the cantonment lands that have put an embargo on, the NDC appointees has built on those lands that the government has put restrictions on? What has happened to it? Where's the Yoko? And many corruption allegations against sitting members of this government. So I think that nobody.
The government is speaking and choosing what to prioritize.
Of course, for the past 18 months, what has been the style of the Yoko? Okay, what has been the style of the Yoko? Using the state institution as a punitive measure. People come here and they demand bail conditions that will keep you incarcerated for many weeks. And I'm happy some senior members of their government are condemning it. So the Yoko is today not an investigative body, but rather a punitive institution. That is why people are concerned, because of what has happened to many people of the opposition party. So we are not worried about investigations. We are not worried about having our day in court. Every member of the previous administration is willing and prepared to appear before any law or any court of competent jurisdiction for adjudication. We'll have our day in court, and that's all we are asking for.
Your name, sir?
My name is Honorable Sylvester Tete.
Sylvester Tete there. Thank you so much. He has been speaking to us. There you would see that the protesters have moved towards the traffic lights right there ahead of me, and it's unclear why they have decided to go gather there. But you see officers of the National Security Operatives line up at the junction there, and the crowd is now returning. It's unclear who might be in this vehicle that they are all escorting back to the entrance of the IOCO headquarters, but they are all returning now. The motor riders have now moved to form a blockade at the traffic light intersection there to prevent vehicles from coming into the IOCO building. I see also a member of the communications team for Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, Dr. Ekwia is here, and she just arrived. Dr. Ekwia, you are special aide to the Vice President. You are just arriving. What briefing have you been getting on what has been happening since morning?
I think it's a very unfortunate circumstance that we find ourselves in. Firstly, Dennis Miracles Abuaje is a well-known figure in this country. He's obviously not a flight risk. There was no need for that Rambo-style arrest that he was subjected to upon his arrival into this country. Indeed, I believe he left this country somewhere on Monday for a brief trip to the United Kingdom. I'm also aware that he had already been invited by the Economic and Organized Crime Unit. He had honored that invitation twice, so there's absolutely no need for him to have been picked up.
Somewhere this year?
Yes, for him to have been picked up on Saturday for no interrogation to happen. Obviously, nothing has happened up until Monday. It's quite obvious that this is an attempt by the government to intimidate the opposition. This is not the first instance. These kinds of arrests have been happening essentially since the NDC government took power. And if you are aware or familiar with the history of this country and the kind of things that happened during the PNDC era, it is a little unsettling, especially for me, who has experienced that or have familial ties of people that suffered under that regime. And so to be subjected to that kind of treatment, again, is quite unfortunate. Again, we see that the IOCO has released a statement. It's something that I saw. I don't know if you've covered that already, have you? Yeah. Yes, and there seems to be an attempt to link two situations that, by the information I have from his lawyers, have no link to each other. So, if
aside from what we see publicly is a statement which says he was arrested for alleged misappropriation of some 55 million Ghana cedis, what else do we know?
No, I should be asking you. Is it Yoko that has kept him since Saturday? I have no idea.
That allegation?
No, I don't think we are here with regards to the allegation. Nobody is saying that if some wrongdoing has been done, that the right processes should not be adhered to. What we are talking about is the treatment he has received and the Rambo style. We do not believe that due process has been followed in this matter. And I'm sure all of you would agree that if you've invited somebody twice, whatever investigation that you think you are conducting is ongoing, why do you then put him on a stop list and pick him up on his way back into the country like he was trying to abscond? And even after he was arrested on Saturday, in fact, it took the leadership of the party and indeed his family a very long time to even find out where he was. It is just about an hour or two ago that his lawyers have been able to see him. Nobody had been able to see him from Saturday up until now. I do not think that that's how citizens of this country expect to be treated. And everybody is innocent until proven guilty, is it not so? Just to recap a few things, especially with the way IOCO has been handling issues. This is not the first time they've done this. They pick people randomly, give them some draconian bail conditions, and we don't hear anything about the case again. So how are we to expect that this is anything different? I also see that if you read the second part of that statement, can you tell me what that part of the statement says?
I mean, what I read essentially put in the charges in there, about 7 of them. I also named a former boss of the one of of the institutions that they picked the two of them up for interrogation?
From the information that we have from his lawyers, those two situations are not connected. So you've arrested somebody, he's cooperating and he has returned some funds. What does that have to do with Dennis Miracles Abuaje? It is obviously a very desperate attempt by Yoko, considering the pressure that Ghanaians have put on them, very understandably, because it's getting to a point where it is worrying. So obviously the pressure has gotten to them and it's too much, and then they are trying to come up with situations to cover their backsides, because the two people are not connected in any way. So if one person is answering for certain charges, what does that have to do with the statement you are releasing for the essential kidnapping of another person? And I think we all know Dennis Miracles Abuaje. He's the most vocal person in this country. He's not difficult to find. In fact, if you want to find Dennis, you just have to probably go to Joy on Tuesday or go to Channel 1 on Wednesday morning and you can find him. So what was the point of arresting him upon his arrival on Saturday? I do not believe that that's the democracy we all work so hard to build. And again, if you look at the pattern that has happened since this government took over in 2025, it is a repeated pattern. Almost every week somebody is picked, brought here, we all have to stop our day and come and the person is denied access to lawyers, denied access to family. We don't know what is happening. Draconian bail conditions are issued, and then we don't hear anything about the matter. Then the next week is another person. Obviously, this is another very cheap attempt at political intimidation and persecution that will not stand. We are here to do everything we can, of course, peacefully and respecting the rule of law in this country to get him released.
My final interest is how the flag bearer and the team are taking what is happening in the last 24, 48 hours.
Of course, it's not an easy thing for anybody. In fact, I do believe that most Ghanaians are worried. I don't know if you've even followed the sentiments on social media, but as a very law-abiding party that we are going to use the law and all the processes to ensure that the right thing is done. As of now, we do not have much information for any of you. I haven't seen him myself. I haven't been allowed to see him. His family hasn't been allowed to see him. So we are here again to see what we can do on those processes, and I'm sure we'll keep you updated. But again, I think everybody should treat that statement from Yoko with a grain of salt and the highest degree of contempt, because it looks like he's already trying to spin tails. And Yoko is supposed to be an investigative body, an independent investigative body, which is supposed to have some credibility. So we do not expect them to be behaving like an information apparatus or a propaganda tool, essentially. So if you have anything against him, charge him. Let us see what those charges are. Give him bail, because you cannot just keep somebody. It's almost the 48 hours will elapse today. You can't just keep somebody because you feel like it. And it's beginning to be like a pattern coming from the Raymond Acha-led Yoko, which I think is unbecoming and it is a step too much. This is probably the last straw for all of us in the opposition. And so we are hoping, like I said, we want to go inside and see what they have to tell us, and then I'll come out and let you know.
Over here, that special aid to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Dr. Ekwia Amoako speaking to us. If you follow the conversation, one latest information or confirmation she's just giving us is that.
So that's my colleague James Aveji from the Yoko headquarters bringing us the very latest from that place. We will be bringing you Edem Senanu, who is an anti-corruption crusader. We'll be speaking to him shortly. But Edem, hold on for me. In the meantime, let's bring you the statement that Yoko has released to that effect concerning the arrest of Dennis Miracles Abuaje and others. And it says Yoko wishes to inform the general public that it has arrested Dennis Edward Abuaje, former executive secretary of the Interministerial Coordinating Committee on Decentralization, in connection with ongoing investigations into alleged financial and procurement-related irregularities at the Secretariat. The arrest follows extensive investigations commenced by Yoko after receiving a petition from the current boss requesting further investigations into a forensic audit conducted into the affairs of the Secretariat, covering the period from the 1st of August 2022 to the 2nd of February 2025. The investigation, according to Yoko, commenced last year following an initial forensic audit of the IMCCOD and the subsequent petition concerning the suspected misappropriation, misapplication, diversion, and theft of public funds amounting to about 55 million cedis. The statement continues to say that Dennis Miracles Abuaje, the former accountant of the said institution, Gerald Appiah, and others are under investigation of suspected offenses, including 1, conspiracy to steal and stealing, 2, using public office for profit, 3, causing financial loss to the state, 4, dissipation of public funds, 5, defrauding by false pretenses, 6, money laundering. So these are the formal charges that have been labeled against Dennis Miracles Abuaje and others. Well, let's bring in anti-corruption campaigner Evans Mensah for more on this. Mr. Mensah, grateful for your time. I mean, whenever a former public official is arrested over an alleged misappropriation of public funds, there's often a show of solidarity from the political front, who typically besiege the officers of these state institutions involved. Is this healthy for accountability, which the Constitution requires of public officers, you'd say?
No, it's not a healthy pattern at all. Indeed, what it does is to weaken the capacity of the institutions of state that are investigating to focus on core matters. And it turns these investigations into a political partisan kind of, initiative where we are not focused on ensuring that everybody is equal before the law, and that party interest or self-interest are not raised above the interest of the state. And I think both parties are guilty of this kind of activity, which does not project or, as it were, contribute to development. So, no, it is not healthy. In my view, these are things that we should ensure that the political parties understand this is not the way to go. If there's an investigation, it's a factual one, the evidence has been provided, then let's allow the processes of the law to continue to a point where it is clear that there's nothing tangible, and then all of us can raise our voices and say, this one is not on.
Well, according to the Yoko statement, he has been under investigation for more than a year. People are questioning the style of arrest. He was returning from London and then was bundled at the airport together with the immigration officers. Is this the right way to apprehend somebody who has been under investigation for more than a year?
I don't know whether there's a right or wrong way for arresting people. I think typically our investigative bodies, when they have gotten to a point where they believe they have adequate and sufficient information, take the next step of arresting, because they know they can then bring you before a court of competent jurisdiction and say, for A and B reasons with this evidence, we want to hold this person for such and such actions. Then they get into an arrest. I'm not quite sure for the ordinary citizen, it would matter whether you're in the market or you're in the church or you're on your way to travel to Mozambique or your way back from the USA. And indeed, in the past, those situations, if I remember right, there's a point where, what's his name? I think it was Chachu Chikata who was arrested in church or something like that. So I don't know whether we want to, as it were, determine a way in which political activists should arrest. Otherwise, important is that if there has been a breach of his personal rights through the process, that is something that his lawyer should take up. But otherwise, I in my mind, the right way is simply don't abuse his rights. Make sure that when you've gotten the evidence that accrues to the point where you are clear in your mind that something untoward has happened, a law has been breached, then you conduct the arrest.
And how do you think this arrest will help in our fight against corruption?
Well, I think it's early days yet. I am honestly reading the information. I seem to remember, because I've done some work with IMCC and decentralization. And I do know there were some concerns about what have happened over the last 5 years. What happened to some resources that had been raised for various activities and how much of those activities were actually executed. Kind of like the World Bank funding for, we're looking at the drainage and other sanitation systems that we've been concerned about. So I think people should pause. Let's wait till the facts come out, because at the back of my mind, it was I was aware about a year or something that appeared not to have been used. IMC. Hello. Where I think that we should be cautious that some has happened or not.
We've seen this before. We've seen this film before where a former political appointee is arrested by Yoko, detained. You see people massing up there. It turns very political, and it appears that it goes under the radar for a while. Do you see something of a similar nature happening? Do you think that the politics that have started interfering in this particular arrest will perhaps let law enforcers tone down a bit and not deal with the matter as they are supposed to? Hello, Adam, do I still have you?
Would be unfortunate if it happens. And I think, I think, yes, you do. You do have me.
Right. Mr. Senanu, your line is a bit bad, but kindly hold on for me. We are trying to rework the lines to get in touch with you once again. But in the meantime, though, let's take you back to the Yoko headquarters, where the MPP's General Secretary, Justin Kodua-Frimpong, has also arrived at the scene.
Coming up with flimsy accusations and arbitrary detention and arrest of members of our party, when the table turns, they should be worried. It is not something that we hope for this country. But with what is happening, NDC is leading the way that this kind of behavior, total disregard for the fundamental human rights of people, is something that has come to stay. And I'm afraid, and I am afraid for appointees of this government. The power is not transient. But when the table turns, I don't expect you, the same media, to come and accuse the MPP government. Because with what is happening, if all of you accept that is something that is right, then when something is right, you continue with it. You don't change it. It is a shame to our democracy. It is a shame for the struggle that all of us have made, that our forefathers made, to bring this country to this point. That the NDC government, under His Excellency John Mahama, want to take us backwards. But we know that with all that is happening, there is a hidden agenda, an attempt to divert attention from what the president is seeking to do by seeking for a third term as president. He doesn't want Ghanaians to talk about it. He doesn't want Ghanaians to comment about it. So therefore, let's throw in something that will divert attention. But Mr. President, you cannot be Mobutu Sese Seko of Ghana. You cannot be Idi Amin of Ghana. The constitution is clear. 2 terms is 2 terms. So it's not these antics that will take our mind from what the government wants to do by extending the tenure of the president. So if this is what they think they can do to divert attention, then they have failed. They have failed woefully. The New Patriotic Party is a strong party. We have men who are very resilient. They are men who will not be coerced by all these tactics of intimidation. And I can assure you that we shall bounce back in 2028. But when the tables turn, appointees of this government should be very worried. Thank you.
So do we know? I'm just interested. Where has the negotiation reached? Will it be?
Well, as it stands now, even interrogation has not started. interrogation has not even started. From Saturday that he was detained up to date, there has not been any interrogation. So the question you ask yourself, then what was the purpose? What was the need of keeping him in custody from Saturday to today? What are they seeking to achieve? What are they seeking to achieve? And the sad thing is, all issues that are happening, all the arbitrary arrest detention is happening at Iyoko. Where are the other state institutions? Where are other state institutions? You keep a man from Saturday evening. You deny him access to his lawyers. And today is Monday. Very soon the 48 hours will elapse. Then we will take the next line of action.
Does it mean we are likely to get him a bail today?
Well, I think we should ask Roman Archer. He's the one keeping.
They issued a statement earlier that they will grant him bail.
At what time? Did they indicate the time they were going to grant him bail? It's a shame.
I just wanted your quick reaction to the allegation or the reason they have stated in that statement that he has allegedly been involved in the misappropriation of something.
Well, anyone can make any allegations. And appointees of the NDC, after December 7, 2028, we will ask them to prepare their own charge sheet and bring it to us. If that's how we want to go. Anyone can just put any frivolous charge sheet. And when you read the content of the letter, you will just laugh that this is a shame to our democracy. How do you relate an issue of a different person to Miracles Abuaje? And you see, it is part of the strategy of the NDC, the court of public trial. Let's throw things into outside for people to think that, oh, he has committed crime. That has been their modus operandi. That has been their style. Because there is no correlation between the person in their release and Miracles Abuaje's issue that they are even alleging. If they feel that Miracles has committed any crime, the best approach is to arraign him before a court of competent jurisdiction. Not this kind of Rambo-style behavior. Not this kind of archaic behavior. We've passed that as a country. And like I said, power is transient. Remember that power is transient. Thank you very much.
The General Secretary for the New Patriotic Party, Justin Kodua-Frimpong there, speaking to, giving us some updates from the negotiations that's been happening. Key issues he's been telling us is that the negotiations are still ongoing and that as we speak, the interrogations are even yet to start at the Iyoko head office, which creates the impression that.
Well, that's my colleague James Aveji there, who spoke a while ago to the General Secretary of the opposition MPP, Justin Kodua-Frimpong. I still have Evans Mensah on the line with me to continue the conversation. He's an anti-corruption crusader. Adam, you've been listening to the MPP's chief scribe. Are you convinced by what he alleges?
I think he does have some valid points. I think that both sides of the divide need to treat each other with decorum. So if Miracles was coming in on a Saturday, which is a weekend, and it was clear that he would not be afforded access to lawyers, etc. What prevented us from waiting till Monday? And I only say this because we don't want a tit-for-tat kind of situation where it takes away from the substantive issues. He should just have waited for Monday where he has his lawyers, everything. And so the due process follows, and then we don't get distracted by claims that this was an intentional abuse of his human rights, etc. I think that both parties need to come up with that shows respect for each other. And all these accusations, I mean, they are just irritating for the rest of us because the substantive issue is, has 50 million been used in a manner that did not benefit the public good, that did not promote our interest? Is there clear evidence that that money was siphoned or diverted? Where is that evidence? And if so, what are the remedies? So, in my mind, at the moment we are just dealing with the frills, the things that don't matter. Hopefully, if Yoko itself is so minded, we ought to see the substantive facts out there to demonstrate that this is not just another witch hunt. Either way, I think that institutions of state should be left to do their work. And I think that the political parties massing up at state institutions does not help the promotion of the rule of law in our country.
But Adam, some would also argue that the state institutions do not fail to work on weekends. They work throughout the day. And in fact, a while ago, you did mention that where he was arrested doesn't matter because somebody was even arrested in church. So others will also beg to differ with your assertion right now.
Well, yes. I'm just saying that to the extent that, let me put it this way.
Okay.
For me, it doesn't matter where people are arrested.
Okay.
Just make sure that they are able to assess whatever will ensure that nobody will say that their fundamental human rights have been breached.
Okay.
So arresting on a Saturday is not a problem. Arresting at the airport is not a problem. But if you're going to do it at such times, be conscious of the fact that these people have rights and be willing to afford them, ensure that those rights are put, because we have responsibility to respect, to promote, and to fulfill. So there's no problem with arresting over the weekend or at the airport, but ensuring that those people then have the right to call their lawyer, whoever wants to know where exactly they are can find them. Those are the small things that then show that we are a progressive society, conscious of the law, willing to afford everybody their rights. And I think that is what is important.
Evans Mensah, thank you very much. He's an anti-corruption crusader there. Let's still stay on the line and speak to Rashid Tanko Computer. He's the Deputy Director in charge of IT and elections of the governing NDC. Haruna Mohammed is the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP. Gentlemen, grateful for your time this afternoon. Rashid Tanko Computer, I want to begin with you. You've heard the General Secretary of the NPP speak at the headquarters of Yoko a while ago. What do you make of his speech?
Let me say good afternoon to you and your cherished viewers across the globe. And let me say good afternoon to my brother Alaji Haruna and the family. Interestingly, see, NPP, every day, they expose their hypocrisy. Okateche Afrifa is also arrested. He's currently behind bars. Why haven't they masked up there to ask for his removal? You see the hypocrisy of NPP. They choose and pick. Their own party person. He's the Okateche Afrifa. He's currently behind bars. So now they have abandoned him and they've decided to go and be chasing for people who are allegedly misappropriated state funds. These are state funds. These are not personal funds.
Okay.
When you accept to work for that means, don't you know that you account for every penny given to you? If you don't want to be investigated, then you don't need to accept the rule of a state when given to you. If you accept to work for the state, know that you are going to expend state resources. And there's a day you'll be called to account for it. My brother, 55 million Ghana cedis. You think it's a small money? It is a small money. We are talking of 55 million Ghana cedis. What are these people talking about?
But Rashid, the MPP has not said that they do not want Dennis Miracles Abuaje investigated. In fact, they have said that he was complying with investigation. Yoko's press statement also said that he was under investigation for at least the past 1 year. Their concern is the manner in which he was arrested on his way to the country from a trip abroad, when he wasn't a flight risk, when he wasn't dodging investigation. Their concern is how they bundled him at the airport and sent him to the Yoko headquarters, denied him access to his lawyer. Now we understand that his lawyers have been allowed access to the headquarters of Yoko, but when he was arrested on Saturday per the MPP, he was denied access to his lawyer. He wasn't told of his crime. He was just sent to Yoko office, and he has spent at least the last 2 days there. Those are their main concerns. They do not have an issue with him being investigated.
They should point out which law has been breached. They should point out which aspect of our laws in Ghana has been breached in his arrest. What are they talking about? Are they not going to teach Yoko how they should conduct their activities? When they were in office, it was not how they were conducting their activities. Were they the people teaching Yoko how to conduct their activities? Today they want to teach Yoko how to conduct its activities. When they went to church to arrest Venerable Chwachu Chikata, when we were in this country, they didn't even fear God. When the man was there praying to his God, they went there to arrest him. What are they talking about? In fact, the Yoko people should even go further to even effect more arrests. We need our money. Look, the kind of money these people are hiding until the investigative bodies follow them and recover these loot. In fact, some of them are then saying they will bring back their money. You see, some of them are doing.
You say these people. Which people are hiding money, and where are they hiding those monies?
MPP appointees. They are hiding our money.
Who in the MPP is hiding money?
I'm giving an example.
Tell me.
Their chairman. Ashanti Regional Chairman.
Bernard
Is he not going through play bargaining? Is he not going through plea bargaining? What is it for?
So you say he's hiding money. Do you have evidence to that?
I'm just telling you that if the person is going in for plea bargaining, what does that mean? Is he not going to return some of the resources? When you say you are going in for plea bargaining, what does that mean? Are you not accepting guilt and accepting that I want to return some of the resources that are being investigated? That's what I'm talking about.
But his case is totally different. Rashid, his case is totally different.
His case is not different. It's not state resources.
It is totally different. He's not being accused of stealing.
Well, I am saying that the man is being investigated of a matter that he went in for some resources from state. Is that not true?
Yes, for a loan.
And then for a loan, that's state money. He didn't take the loan from private bank. It was from state bank. Is that not true? And now, when he's being investigated, now he says he's going for plea bargain to return the resources. Is that not what he's going through now? Why are we doing as if we don't know what is going on in this country? And I'm saying that this alleged misapplication of 55 million Ghana cedis, the state has been investigating this matter since last year. They have uncovered a lot of issues concerning this matter. And was he not the chief executive officer? Was he not the officer in charge? She come and answer questions. They've waiting for him. You go outside. He's dodging them. Finally, they got him at the airport and arrested him. And you think it's a crime? They have committed any crime in arresting him at the airport? Is it the first time our own MP has been arrested at airport in Amsterdam? A sitting member of parliament has been arrested at Amsterdam. Has they marched up to Amsterdam to go and demonstrate there?
Okay.
Have you seen them going there to demonstrate? What kind of hypocrisy is this?
Okay. Mr. Rashid.
Look, let me tell you, all that you are saying today, they are there to do campaign. They are campaigning for their positions. All those you have seen over there, they went there to campaign because election, they are doing elections. They just finished their constituency elections and they are moving to regional and national elections. All those people you've seen there, they are campaigning for their positions.
How are they campaigning though?
But that's what. But I'm using that one as a campaign platform. That's what they are doing.
Okay.
They know that what they are doing is completely out of order. It's completely out of order. They are wasting everybody's time. And because they want the cameras and their gullible supporters to think that they are working and then they can return them to offices. That is why they are massing up over there. Okay. Otherwise, what is the need?
Rashid Tanko Computer, don't go yet. Haruna Mohammed, as I mentioned earlier, is the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP. Haruna, welcome to the program. Your boss, the NPP's General Secretary, is saying that this is an agenda by the government to divert attention. He says, and I'm quoting him, a secret agenda by President John Mahama for his bid to run for a third term. Really? Where did that come from?
Kenneth, I will say good afternoon to your cherished viewers and your followers and others who are listening to you over other social media handles. I think that the good lawyer Justin Kodjo has nailed this right. You know, the president has failed. He has failed the people of Ghana abysmally, and now he doesn't know what he's going to hold on to. His party has completely rejected the third term bid, and they dared him in that particular instance. He's using a backdoor because the Constitutional Review Committee has also turned its back on the third term. So it is left with them to do machinations to get some of these things gone through. So whereas people are going to court for that to be discussed and be made public, then let's go after fishing expedition based on the settings that they have begun. So the settings that they have been doing, that is what they have come. Because Yoko, as we see, is not a detention ground. Yoko is supposed to be a fact-finding and sending people to court to ensure that we are able to collect money that has been misappropriated. But in this particular circumstances in this government, Yoko has been turned into a detention ground. It has been used as one of their vehicles to intimidate political opponents, and that has been the order of the day. So my boss wouldn't have put it in any other better way than to nail the thing on the head of the NCC attitudes and how they have been doing or performing their activities with respect to what they do to the people of the New Patriotic Party. Series of cases you count, none of them is getting down in the court. I don't know whether they are interested in getting headlines or they are interested in recovery of money.
That's quite interesting, though. And we've also been hearing, once again, from your boss who says that what the NDC is doing is engaging in the court of public trial. Do you think that this arrest of Dennis Miracle Zabwaje is politically motivated, just like some are saying?
You don't need even a researcher to tell you that his arrest is politically motivated. This is one individual who has spoken a lot about this government, the rot in this government, exposing gallantry activity, going to the side, also speaking to very critical issues of governance. This particular individual is very vociferous and is very factual when he's speaking on TV or radio. So the next thing that they could do is to come after him, just to be able to deter some other people, including some of us. But like the General Secretary has said, the MPP has never feared intimidation. If it is intimidation that they are going to use to cow us to stop speaking, then they should forget about it. We have had our founding fathers who have laid the foundation of this party dying in prison, and that has never stopped the MPP from continuing where they stopped. And we can assure them that what they do, they can continue to do it, but every action has a limitation. And when the time comes, the NDC will definitely regret their current act whilst in government.
Haruna, don't go here. Let me bring back Rashid Tanko.
I just want to make some points for Mr. Rashid.
Okay.
He's talking about this particular case. And you know, Rashid is my brother. And I respect him so much. I will just give him advice that in some of these particular cases, we need to be very careful in the way we run, because these are rumors. They are not facts. So the use of words twice of faith in terms of what he says can land him into prison because he is paid allegedly for that particular misappropriation. They said this is not a fact because he has not been jailed or he has not been put before a competent court of jurisdiction that says that what has been charged on him is actually true. It is not there. Secondly, he is talking about Wontumi. Wontumi has never stolen any money from the state. Wontumi did not take cutlass to go to Exim Bank to ask for the loan. He went through a process and he got the loan. If he is not able to pay the loan within the stipulated period and the state is taking him to court, within our legal system, he has the right of plea bargain, which is not a criminal activity. It is one of the processes that is used. And if he doesn't know, Wayomi, his own Wayomi, the same Wayomi we were at the police training school, where after the declaration of the results, used that particular system. And many other systems have been used. Colin Dowder and co, they use that particular system. Many other people within the NDC use that particular system. So it is not right for my brother, my senior brother, of course, to tell that or tell the whole world that Wontumi had misappropriated funds or has stolen money. Wontumi is not a convict. No court has announced a judgment on Wontumi, and Wontumi remains a citizen of clean heart, and that cannot be put on him. He made a statement about we wasting our time. Then the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana is as a waste as it is, in quotes, in a contest, because there is a right to demonstrate. And it is not for the NDC to direct us where to demonstrate and whose case we have to demonstrate. He's citing a member of parliament who have been arrested somewhere. He's not our member. He's not from the MPP. We are fighting for the members of the new Patriotic Party who have been unjustly treated.
Right. He mentioned Okatachi Efrifa. Hello, Haruna.
Yes, my boss is giving you a scenario of the number of hours.
Okay.
Very soon, the 48 hours will elapse, and he's asking about which law. I think it's about time we as political parties to know that power will leave, and we should be careful about how we do our payments.
Haruna, don't go ahead. I still have Rashid Tanko Computer with me. He's the Deputy Director of IT and Elections with the governing NDC. Rashid, the MPP has already claimed that Dennis Miracles Aboagye is being targeted because of how vocal he is in critiquing the government, hence the reason to silence him. Also, when we listened to the General Secretary of the MPP, he claimed that government's hands is written all over this arrest. We know that Yoko is an independent body. Yes, we know. But how do you interpret these accusations that have been leveled against the government of Ghana?
In fact, ignore it completely. Dismiss the allegations with the contempt it deserves. Completely. Look, I disagree with my brother, Alhaji Haruna, on the issue that I spoke about. Yes, I was very clear in my mind when I was speaking about Aboagye's matter. I said an alleged misappropriation of 55 million Ghana cedis. Very clear. That is what they are investigating. The matter is on court. It's a big money. It's a big money. They are investigating that matter. That's why we use the word an alleged misapplication. He accepted to work for the state. The state allocated these resources for them for a purpose. Investigation is ongoing to find out how the money was being used. And yet, you must up and say they should release him because he's a party supporter. He's a party member. What signal are we sending out to our officers? Because you misbehave with state resources and your party, because you have party groups behind you, and they can come and fight for you. When you are asking him about Afrifa, have they going to remove Afrifa? Have they going to demonstrate to get Afrifa out? They are not party person. He is vociferous. He has a platform. Okay, Afrifa. He's all over the place.
He ran the party down, left and down NDC. Every day attacking John Dramani Mahama and the government. He stepped processes and he speaks. Today, they are silent about him. Nobody has even gone there. Wontumi, go and look at the charge sheets of Wontumi. Can't you see misrepresentation? What is misrepresentation? When somebody do a misrepresentation, do you know the meaning of that? False misrepresentation. You falsify documents. That is what the charge sheet is talking about. They've uncovered falsification of documents in order to qualify to get that loan. It's a criminal activity.
Okay.
And this is why the state was following up on the matter. And we are saying that, look, anybody who is found culpable of misbehaving with state resources, this government will not shield it. This government will make sure that we go after them and make sure that the state agencies will all the money. Look at the flood in Accra. We don't know the people talking about the flood issues in Accra. Do you know what this money could be used to do? If the state is able to uncover all this money back, won't they be used for the betterment of Ghanaians? Look, what they are doing is just campaigning. They are doing campaigns over there for elections and nothing else. And nothing else. This thing that they are talking about, they are all extraneous issues. It has no bearing whatsoever. There has no bearing whatsoever. What does the president got to do with this matter going on? Or what does NDC got to do with this matter? The state agencies are doing their work. They existed before we came into office, and they will continue to exist, and they will continue to function.
The MPP is calling for the release of Dennis Miracles Abuaje now or be processed for court. Do you agree?
Well, that's why he has lawyers. His lawyers are working over there with them. The Yoko too are there. Their officers there. They also have lawyers. Their lawyers will deal with the matter. It is not about the street hawking. What they are doing over there is street hawking. You see, nobody is preventing you from demonstrating. But there are benchmarks. There are rules. You have to follow those processes before you are allowed to demonstrate. Nobody is stopping you from demonstrating. Even if you want to go and demonstrate at the Flagstaff House. In any case, the last time they went in the night and demonstrated at the Flagstaff House. Who prevented them? But you must satisfy certain conditions set up by the Constitution. You don't get up in the morning, just get up from mass people and say we are demonstrating. Who does that? That is lawlessness. This one is complete lawlessness. And I don't know why the security agencies are allowing them to do this kind of thing. It's complete.
What do you want the security agencies to do?
If people mass up illegally on the street, preventing traffic flow and other things, what is the duty of the security agents? Isn't it to clear them for traffic to flow? Look at what they are doing over there. Look at the footages.
I didn't think it would happen to me, but it happened to me.
Ghana's digital economy is booming. Millions of transactions, billions of cities, a future powered by technology. But beneath the convenience lies a growing threat.
Now it's becoming more towards digital fraud.
If we place convenience excessively over security, we run the risk of breaking down the number one currency that we have in that ecosystem, and that is trust.
The Digital Economy Forum is a thought leadership series examining the opportunities, risks, and choices shaping Ghana's economic future. In our maiden edition, we tackle a critical issue, the trust crisis, why fraud is holding back Ghana's digital economy.
We need to have a 360-degree solution.
Join Head of FinTech and Innovation at the Bank of Ghana, El Hanano Rekuasare, Economics Professor Godfred Bokpin, CEO of Ghana Association of Banks, John Ewua, Executive Chairman of E-Crime Bureau, Dr. Albert Enchibuesiako, Chief Risk and Compliance Officer at Mobile Money FinTech Limited, Godwin Tamaklo, Deputy Director General in charge of Technical Operations at the Cybersecurity Authority, Stephen Kujo Seshi, and Head of Internal Affairs at Haptel, Ebenezer Bob Ofofor, the Digital Economy Forum, the Trust Crisis, Why Fraud is Holding Back Ghana's Digital Economy. Brought to you in partnership with Haptel. It's happening on Wednesday, July 22nd at 8 p.m. live on Joy News, Joy FM, and across our social media platforms.
What they are doing over there, look at the footages going on there. Is it the best thing for Ghanaians? Is that what the Constitution says you should do when you want to demonstrate?
Tell me what they are doing. What are they doing?
If you feel the conditions. No, what they are doing is unlawful organization. To organize themselves in the manner they did. It's unlawful. They are lawyers.
You mean unlawful assembly?
All those who one day spoke. Unlawful assembly. That is what I'm talking of. To organize themselves like that, illegal organization. Now I would describe as an illegal organization. It's unlawful. And they are lawyers. In fact, seasoned lawyers among them. They know this. They just want to test the strength of our security and the patience of the security service. Otherwise, why would they go this tangent? Tomorrow, if I also get up and start mobilizing people and say, let's go and demonstrate at the MPP office because they are violating their rights as opposition political party. Is that how we should do in this country?
Okay.
That's not fair enough. We are saying that if they want to demonstrate, they should fulfill the conditions that allow them to demonstrate. They can demonstrate from morning up to evening.
Already, some of them have reported of incidents of being pepper sprayed by the police. Do you support the use of brute force by the police to disperse them?
I am saying that in any case, what they are doing there is an unlawful gathering.
Yes, I get that, but I just want to pick your thoughts on whether you support the use of brute force.
If it is unlawful gathering, and they are posing threat to state security,
right?
Pedestrians and everything, they are attacking people over there. You expect the security agents to fold their arms because they are NPP people. Is that what you want them to do?
Okay, Rashid Tanko Computer, don't go yet. I still have Haruna Mohammed with me. Haruna, I want to read again the suspected offences according to Yoko by Dennis Miracles Abuaji. These, again, are suspected offences according to Yoko. It says conspiracy to steal and stealing, 2, using public office for profit, 3, causing financial loss to the state, 4, dissipation of public funds, 5, defrauding by false pretenses, 6, money laundering, 7. There are actually more suspected offenses, but these are the main offenses according to Yoko. But your general secretary had the posture that Dennis Miracles Abuaji has seemingly committed no crime, and what is happening is that this is merely a politically motivated arrest, and that power is transient. And when the MPP comes, they will do to the NDC what the NDC is doing to them.
Okay, Kenneth, let me repeat. He has not committed any crime. What has been put on the charge sheet remains a charge and verified and determined, not before any court. A basic one loss, a first year loss, will tell you that when you gather, you don't sit in the public. You go to court and justify your evidence. Are they trying the case in the public court of opinion? Are they interested in recovery, if it is true?
Okay.
Are they interested in getting justice? Are they interested in prosecution or persecution? These are the key questions you should be asking yourself. I think that it is one too many that the NDC is committing a lot of sacrilege in this country. And they think that Ghana will just be sitting like this and waiting for them. Anything that will happen in this country, for any blood to be lost, will be put on the head of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. People should be guided the way they say. And people should be minded that The jackknife has two sides. When it cuts at the other side, it will cut at the other side too. Even for 100 years, the NDC will never be in power. We pray for long life, and Remuacha is still young. I pray that God will give him good health to meet Dr. Bawumia's government. Nobody will tell you that accountability will certainly set in place, and crime has no expiry date. Even the first term of John Mahama's crime can still be revisited. But Kenneth, what people of Ghana forget is that when Mr. Mahama was the president of the Republic of Ghana in the first term, guinea fowls flied away from Ghana to Burkina Faso. It's a record that this has been there, and everybody knows. Trees were drying even at the riverside under his government. Today, Nkoko Kitinkiti, they have reported to us that they have chopped all of them. This is how a government without vision, a government without direction, a failed government, a future government that has done that before is repeating the same thing, the same government, clueless government.
But Haruna, the NPP had 8 years. Why wasn't anybody prosecuted in the guinea fowl incident, for instance?
But you saw what happened.
Tell me.
You saw the investigations that were done. You saw the port expedition issues. You saw the number of people that were being called on this particular matter.
Yeah.
You saw that somebody was jailed. Asontaba was jailed. You saw that not only him, other people were jailed. But I just said crime has started. Any other crime that was left uninvestigated or which has been shelved by this current NDC government, just as they came and then stopped cases like Colin Dowda case, police case, and many other cases that they have abrogated, the Senate case and all that, they have to file nolle prosequi. And they committed to more press conferences than appearance in court. The General Secretary was right.
Right.
That the NDC would face the same consequences because accountability is not an end in itself, but it's a process and a continuous activity that happens in every government. And bail conditions and arrests are not new, and certainly will not be the first under MPP, and will certainly continue with the same practice.
The clock is ticking on the 48-hour mark since Dennis Miracles Abuaje was detained in the custody of Yoko. Of course, we've seen a lot of MPP executives, including his lawyers, throwing the place. The people there are insisting that they are not leaving until Dennis Miracles Abuaje is released from Yoko custody today. Let's look at the hypothetical case that in case he's unable to be released today, what would the party do?
In case somebody who has been held unlawfully more than 48 hours, what does the law say?
Well, the law is very clear. Yes, the law is indeed very clear.
So they don't hold him beyond that period.
Okay.
And that is why they are there. Be there till the 48 hours. And if they don't release it, they must set him up. That is what the law says. If they can take the law in their own hands, if one individual is bigger than the Republic of Ghana, take the law into their hands and take that many individuals belonging to the New Patriotic Party whom Miracle Abuaje can sit down and watch them, who use everything to protect it. And that is what the
Haruna Mohammed, thank you very much. He's the Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition NPP. I still have Rashid Tanko Computer with me. He's the Director of IT and Elections, the Deputy Director of IT and Elections of the governing NDC. Rashid, I want to pick your final word so that we wrap up this conversation.
Well, we should allow the state institution to do their work, my brother. They should be allowed to do their work. They are working for the state. And look, I'm surprised at my brothers and sisters in the NPP. In one vein, they believe in accountability. They have issues with the way it is being arrested and all that. And that when they come back to office,
they will treat NDC the same way. I'm surprised. If you think we are waiting for NDC to lose power, so that you treat us the way you are being treated now, then it means you also believe in what we are doing right now. It means they believe in it. They believe in the process. That look, people must be accountable to whatever was given to them. That is what we're talking about. Why is the General Secretary who worked as the CEO of YE has not been invited? Have you said that he has been invited to any investigation body? Because he has no questions to answer. He was a CEO. Look, the national organizer, he was the board chairman of National Service and other things. He has not been invited. Have you been invited to answer questions? They are all over the place. Press conferences upon press conferences. Have they been invited? A lot of officers in the elsewhere Nana Akufo-Addo government are walking around freely. They are all over the place. Have they been invited? Because they have no questions to answer.
Okay.
If you have questions to answer, you can invite it. If you refuse to come, they'll come and arrest you. You see, that's what I'm talking about. The hypocrisy of the NPP is legendary. And still maintain Okatakie Afrifa is behind bars. Why haven't they gone there to demonstrate for his removal?
Right.
You should be question. They should allow the state to do its work.
Okay. Rashid Tanko Computer, grateful for your time this afternoon. He's the Deputy Director of IT and Elections with the NDC. And earlier we heard from Haruna Mohammed, who is the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. Well, let's just stay with the opposition party NPP because it says 4 constituencies are here to hold their constituency executive elections, while results and electoral activities in another 4 constituencies remain under review following disputes that disrupted parts of the nationwide exercise. According to an update from the party's National Secretariat, constituency executive elections were successfully conducted in 245 of its 276 constituencies, representing more than 88% completion rate. However, elections in 23 constituencies were suspended due to various disputes with Bantama and Efijasachre, among the areas where arrests were recorded. My colleague Nana Boachi-Adam has more in this report.
The New Patriotic Party has announced that its National Steering Committee will review election activities in 4 constituencies in the Ashanti region, including Efijasachre East, Adansia Sokwa, Bantama and Asante Achem Central, following reported disputes and incidents during the electoral process. Among the constituencies attracting significant attention is Bantama, where disturbances disrupted the electoral process, with 3 arrests made, prompting the party to refer the matter to the National Steering Committee for further assessment. We only came to vote, and in the process, some men came to attack us, claiming there is an injunction on the process. They destroyed the ballot boxes and the ballot papers, and even alleged that those conducting the election are not EC officials.
To the moon and say, people, it's me, the amount for in a Ghanaian madam, to me, damn, and now may have the corona, the Huyan say, will be drums of us, no pija, Akunya, Shaibu Bamba. It's when I'm a fast of Jansen up to my back also, Ebanton, Pia Kunya, Ebashem, and him say to me, Bufa Kunya, them tears and nature say, Tau. Nessa me da but no na me say bia obesa de abomitimi di mojasie edwane enam kwemani ba mo so na me da konfanoche emergency.
The committee is expected to examine reports from election officials, an interim court injunction, petitions from stakeholders and other relevant evidence before determining the way forward. Efijasachre East also witnessed disturbances during the elections. Social commentator Evans Mensah was arrested by the police in connection with the disturbances, according to police and media reports. Investigation into the incident are currently ongoing. The National Steering Committee is expected to determine whether the disputed electoral outcomes should be upheld, amended, or whether fresh elections will be conducted in any of the affected constituencies. Meanwhile, the police is yet to confirm the release or otherwise of the individuals arrested. For Joy News, Nana Akufo-Addo, Kumasi.
Oh my God. Less than 2 years after its commissioning, the $91 million three-tier Tema motorway interchange is rapidly deteriorated into a symbol of neglect. Once hailed as the landmark infrastructure project for Ghana's port city, sections of the facility have been overtaken by refuse, overgrown weeds, and widespread open defecation. Tricycle waste collectors now use parts of the interchange as an illegal dumping ground where poor sanitation continues to degrade the area. My colleague Carlos Coloni visited the area and reports that without urgent intervention, the stretch from the interchange to the Pong barrier could soon become the new landfill site for waste collectors.
This is the Tema motorway interchange, which was commissioned less than 24 months ago. In fact, it was commissioned on the 2nd of December 2024 by former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And on the day of the commissioning, I happened to be here. The entire place was clean and littered with beautiful paintings and all of that. Now, less than 24 months after its commissioning, this is the state of the very ground that former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo stood to commission the $91 million facility, which is a three-tier interchange which connects the Akosombo N2 and also linked to the N1 and also connects to Ghana's biggest port. I'm talking about the Tema port. It was said to be the catalyst to actually promote Ghana's transportation and trade to the countries like Sahel, in the Burkina area, and all of that. The issue of maintenance was heavy on the day. I recall President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo urged the Ghana Highways Authority, the municipal assemblies around this facility to ensure that it is maintained. And like I said, less than 24 months, let me take you to the very ground that former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo stood to commission this project. Now you can see that the whole place is so, weedy. It's overgrown with weeds, and it makes it difficult to even go through to actually access where the first gentleman of the land at the time stood to actually commission this $91 million facility. So on the day, this was the very spot where former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo stood to commission the project. And you see the plaque that was unveiled on the day. Today, if my cameraman would pan around, it has become home to human excreta. All over the place, we have to hold our breath to be able to take this particular shot that you are seeing. You would have to bear with us with the kind of shot you are seeing on the television. We need to tell you this story so you can really appreciate how this $91 million facility, which came through a Japanese grant and other arrangement, has been left to rot by the Ghana Highways Authority, who primarily are the owners of this facility. Because of lack of maintenance of this $91 million facility. In less than 2 years, when it was commissioned by former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, those who convey refuse from our communities have turned the whole place into a dumping site. Now, let me paint a picture for you. This is the very road that takes you from Accra and connects you to the N2, which is the Akosombo Road. So when you're coming from Accra, like the vehicle you see in your shot is headed to Akosombo, and then will connect through the interchange. The first dump you see on this level, which is the tier 2, I should say, for want of better words, is this place, which is now a dumping site. And we've counted about 6 of such dumping sites on the tier 2 alone. Now, we'll take you to the tunnel area, also when you're coming from Accra, to also paint that picture for you, how this $91 million facility is gradually becoming a landfill site for those who convey refuse from our community. Come with me, let's go to the ground floor, I should say, or the N1, the road that connects from Accra all the way to Aflao. There is a tunnel. Let me take you there so you appreciate what is also happening there. So currently I am standing on the Aflao bound stretch of the N1, just about 200 meters away from the main tunnel that would take you to the Titi Brothers or Kumbaria towards Aflao. Now, on this stretch alone, we've counted a number of spots where refuse have been dumped. And this is the very first one you see here. And it appears that this is not new. It's been here for some time. Of course, if you look at the way the rubbish has been pent, it paints a picture that it's something that goes on persistently or over time that has been left. So this is the very first spot. So far we've counted about 5 of such spots here alone. I will take you through the others so you appreciate the number of spots where this place has been turned into a refuse dump. Come with me, let me show you the second one, which is right here. But while we go there, it is important to also show you how that dump there is affecting the drainage system of the $91 million facility. It has kept the water stagnant and has choked the drains heavily. As you can see, the water is unable to move because it's heavily silted, and from so many ends the water really cannot move. Now, just about 200 meters away, the second spot where we have seen that refuse has been dumped, not once. The size of it tells you that it's something that goes on all the time. It's this second one, and it doesn't look new, as in just dumped, and that should tell you the picture. And it's spreading. It's spreading. I have observed this for over 2 months on this particular stretch. Every second one that we have seen here. Now, there is another one here also, which is a third spot. So it appears that those responsible for this dumping, they calculate the time and they come here to dump. So when especially nobody is seeing. This place is supposed to have street lights. We don't know if the street lights are actually working as we speak. And there's a strong stench. But I'm managing to express myself just to tell you this story. So this is the number 3. And if you go forward, there are others. And across the road, we've counted at least 5 spots like the ones we've told you about just before you go into the tunnel. Now, come with me. Let's show you the sanitation situation under the tunnel itself. Come. So we are currently under the tunnel, and this is the sanitation situation in the tunnel. We have seen not less than 12 of this particular spot where we really cannot explain. But we've also seen some mentally challenged people who now feed on the refuse dump up there. They bring it here and sort it, and after that they burn it. And like I said, we've counted a number of such situations here under the tunnel. And so sanitation here under the tunnel itself, it's nothing to write home about. But that is not the only challenge. We'll continue to tell you how refuse is being dumped even after the tunnel. But once we're under the tunnel, let me tell you how the guardrails are deteriorating so fast. And vehicles are coming. I'll try my very best to see if I can cross. But if my cameraman can pan to the guardrails, which are supposed to protect vehicles from running into the very expensive concrete. It is fast deteriorating, as you can see here. Many of these parts are gone. Many of them are gone all the way to the other end. So beyond the refuse which is being dumped around this facility, and beyond the fact that the guardrails are not being maintained, the drains beneath the tunnel itself are not being desilted, which is making water stagnant here, making water flow very difficult, and which could affect the structural integrity of this tunnel. Now, we are under the tunnel, like I told you. I'm going to take you after the tunnel. Then we continue to tell you how refuse is being dumped along the N1. Come with me. We've gone through the tunnel, and finally we've come out of the tunnel on the Aflao-bound stretch of the N1. Now, less than 100 meters away from the tunnel, the first dump site we've seen is this one. Now, a critical look at this one shows that it is actually sitting on the drain, and it doesn't appear to be something that is fresh. And like I said, I have also observed this particular one for a number of months. It's been here and they keep adding on. Beyond this one, there is a next one, which is less than, say, 30 meters away from that one, and it is equally, heavy. But the interesting aspect of this one is that it's gradually taking portion of the road. As you can see in your shot, it's spilling over onto the main stretch. That definitely will be endangering the lives of motorists. And like I said earlier, it is equally affecting the drains. And guess what? We could be harvesting rice from the drains here very soon. Why do I say so? I'm just in front of a rice plant which is growing, and as you see here, it's almost ready, and we can harvest rice from the drains very soon. And I don't know if it's rather the time for us to now turn these drains into a rice farm. But that's how bad the situation is here at the Tema motorway interchange. Let's continue the journey. Well, the tricycle you see here is heavily loaded with refuse, and it's been here for over 3 weeks. It actually has been on the road partially, and which has been causing a lot of, gridlock at this very spot here, just few meters away from the Titi Brothers area. And before this morning, it was on the road. Just few minutes after we started filming around, miraculously, it has been lifted onto the median of the road. Now, let's see what is in there. And this is just one of the tricycles that usually would park along the stretch, and as if they have technical or mechanical issues, and the next morning you will not find them at this very spot. What you rather would find will be the refuse. This is another spot we have seen here on the Aflao Road. This is right behind Titi Brothers, just about some few meters away from the Titi Brothers traffic light. Just 3 days ago, there was a tricycle here loaded with this refuse. Today, the tricycle is not here. But what remains here is the refuse that you see. And this has been the canker on this particular road. Yet authorities are watching on. Well, on the road to Kombari, I caught up with these street hawkers just right behind the Titi Brothers building and just before the Titi Brothers traffic light. I asked them whether this refuse situation has come to their attention. This is what they've been telling me.
Abobo ya fo no mu sheda pa e no mu yesa am be fa bola no bola abobo ya ntimi mfa ne no mu fa sesi akraba ko bia be sesia e na meka che madam fo ni se o we mpo de minim no no mpo de o hyiegu wa enda mema ya beche no we nu ode be si ho no mu Friday no o si asai nti ndra Saturday anopa no oba ye so oba be fa no e na car bi su yi fa ho e na ode be moa no na ni na agu fo e na police ni ka che ni so nkoye ni ye no mbra no nsambe sesa no wan samba bio nti abobo ya nde wo so mo hye na amu stop yo mu ni na aban pe cars ema omu na mu abobo ya afo ni na enja ejuma ye obekwa ko jiska o baby asisam amanfo bola wo so fa nko tungun wa beja fiti overhead na sini ni na adi bani na nkofo bola nko a nti wo sa aban ni nye bibi mfa ho maye ebon kan ndra ya ntimi angina akra
afeti mu amutonya ma
ai esa no bi wo hu bola na ontimi mfrew what you say on Timin Fro. Inti we di aban was on ye bibi mfa ho ma ye na enye kra.
It is rather ironic that just a day after the national cleanup exercise ended, one would have thought that this huge facility, $91 million, which serves as a critical hub for Ghana's trade, has not seen any cleanup exercise here at all. The place remains overgrown with weeds, and refuse has finally taken over the entire place. What are the duty bearers doing about this? What is the Ghana Highways Authority doing about the maintenance of this particular facility? Beyond the Ghana Highways Authority, what is the role of the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies around this particular facility, which could not do anything at all about cleaning this place up or within it? What also is the role of the local governance ministry to ensure that those who dump refuse here are apprehended and dealt with? These are questions we leave with you from the Tema interchange here in the Tema metropolitan area. My name is Carlos Kaloni for Joy News.
And we've contacted the Ghana Highways Authority and the Tema Metropolitan Assembly for comment, but both have declined. The Ashaiman Municipal Assembly is tightening enforcement of sanitation bylaws after repeated flooding exposed persistent waste management challenges across the municipality. Although the two-day post-flood cleanup exercise cleared major drains and removed large volumes of refuse, authorities say lasting progress will depend on stronger enforcement and waste segregation. Municipal Chief Executive Freeman Chekpo, changing public attitudes towards waste disposal remains a priority. Here's a report from Kwame Yanka.
This is the third major cleanup in Ashaiman in the last few months, where repeated desilting, dredging and refuse collection have failed to stop waste from accumulating. With a population of more than 300,000, the Municipal Assembly says simply clearing refuse is no longer enough. Instead, it is preparing to introduce waste segregation, strengthen recycling initiatives, and improve refuse collection to reduce indiscriminate dumping. The Assembly also blames illegal dumping by informal waste collectors for worsening sanitation and says stricter enforcement of sanitation bylaws, backed by public education and prosecution under the Operation Clean Your Frontage initiative, will form part of a sustained response. Here is the Municipal Chief Executive of Ashaiman, Freeman Chekpo.
Going into the future, we are looking at segregation. And we also have plastic company in Ashama that do recycling of plastics. We have Safisana that processes biodigestible waste. So we are organizing the municipality to go into this segregation, and then we can also promote effective collection of refuse, so that the filth in Ashama will be something of the past. Because of the population, because of the activities that we undertake, you can't do away with the refuse, but the way we manage it is what is important. So the Assembly has planned stakeholders forum on sanitation, where we're going to churn out how we will manage the segregation and collection moving into the future.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Armed Forces, which played a key role in the exercise, says keeping Ashaman clean will require sustained public discipline and regular sanitation campaigns. Forces Sergeant Major Chief Warrant Officer Al-Hassan Zakaria, after encouraging the personnel, shared his thoughts.
Keeping or starting with this exercise, we should maintain cleanliness and be disciplined in the way we dispose of our garbage and stuff like that. And I will suggest that this exercise continues every month such that it will keep out on check and also let us be aware of how we should maintain cleanliness in our environment, especially this bucket area.
The two-day exercise brought together the Ghana Armed Forces, Police, Fire Service, Immigration Service, NADMO, Environmental Health Officers, Traditional Authorities, Assembly staff, sanitation volunteers, and residents as the municipality steps up efforts to improve sanitation and reduce future flooding. Kwame Yankes reports for Joy News.
Away from Ashaiman, Aquafresh Limited, producers of Calipo, together with textile manufacturer Printex Limited, has donated support items to victims of the June 29th floods at Alajo, one of the communities hardest hit by the disaster in the Greater Accra region. The company has presented boxes of Calipo nourishing drinks and pieces of wax prints to affected residents to support families who lost property and livelihoods following the devastating floods.
Forms part of the company's corporate social responsibility efforts aimed at providing immediate relief to vulnerable households as they recover from the aftermath of the disaster. Officials from Aquafresh and Printers Limited says the companies were moved by the plight of the victims and believed it was important to support communities during difficult times.
To support the victims that were affected by the floods, to show our support and also to encourage all Ghanaians that let's all give a lending hand to everyone, whether anyhow that we can help, so that everybody will enjoy something, or anybody who is grieving. We want to show our support as our corporate social responsibility. So we are here in solidarity with them. Juices, cloth from Printex, also school bags and other accessories.
The people should also get aware of that, how they can clean the things around their houses, around their space, around their shops, because sometimes we feel that, sometimes the water is not flowing and that is also cause of the flood. So it is a responsibility to all of them, the government officials, the common people, even those who are the business people. So everybody has to take care of their surroundings, how we should not be litter things here and there, we should not be litter things on the drainage here and there, so that we can block the drainage. And when the flood come like this, what happened the last week, it was really shocking.
Some beneficiaries overwhelmed by the gestures expressed gratitude to the two companies for the timely support. They said the donation will help meet some of their immediate needs as they work to rebuild their lives after the floods.
You're still watching The Pulse here on Joy News and also across our various social media platforms. So let's bring you a story from the Ghana Journalists Association, which has commended President John Mahama and the government for organizing the two-day national cleanup exercise, describing it as a timely and successful response to the recent floods that devastated 7 regions. The association praised the president for personally participating in the exercise, saying his leadership inspired nationwide participation. It also lauded the media, sanitation agencies, volunteers, and private sector partners, including Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, for supporting the campaign. And there you have that statement on your screen. The GJA, however, stressed that preventing future floods will require sustained sanitation efforts and called on Ghanaians to make environmental cleanliness a daily responsibility rather than an occasional exercise. The Pulse returns after this break. Don't go anywhere. Hello again. Some assemblies over the weekend appealed to residents to exercise patience as it races to clear flood debris from communities affected by the June 29th floods, assuring the public that most of the waste will be cleared by the close of yesterday. So earlier today, my colleague Namoko went back to Alajo, one of the communities hardest hit, to look at how the waste evacuation is going.
People dispose of refuse in this gutter, and that remains a major concern. The assemblyman and all the officials we have engaged so far have failed to heed our calls for action.
Since the day we were instructed to bring our waste outside for collection, waste collectors have failed to pick it up. Sometimes we see them pass by, but they do not collect the refuse.
This is Fountain International School here, and the kids have been buying food from here, and we have some of the rubbish and the dumps here. So we beg the government to come and take them from here, because from the bean to the food, the children will get cholera and as well diarrhea. So we beg them to come and take the rubbish from here.
I feel so bad because what we are passing through here is not easy. The natural disaster that has happened at our area, the government is supposed to, do something about it. And I know they are doing something about it, but most of the Ghanaians have taken it so far as like politics.
Meanwhile, government has partnered with JA Plant Pool, a logistics company under the Jospon Group, to deploy 20 semi-trailers and other logistics to support waste management efforts following the national sanitation exercise. Local government minister Ahmed Ibrahim had this to say.
So the original estimation of about 100 trucks cannot be enough for the job, and therefore there's the need for other support, and that is the reason why we came to JA Plant Pool to look at the 18 compactors that are here, articulator compactors, and to look at the 60 articulator trucks that are here by Jospon Group of companies. Because if you look at the refuse, people are taking them to Jamestown, to Achimota police station. Then in the night, the trailers will take them to the faraway landfill site.
And all is set for the 2026 Financial Architecture Summit as the National Banking College prepares to bring together policymakers, regulators, financial institutions, fintech companies, academia, and development partners to discuss the future of Ghana's financial system. Well, the summit comes at a critical time when digital innovation, regulatory reforms, and emerging risks are rapidly shaping the financial landscape. Organizers say the goal is to develop practical solutions for building a stable, inclusive, and technology-driven financial sector that can support Ghana's long-term economic growth. But what exactly does this summit seek to achieve, and why should Ghanaians pay attention? Well, joining me on Zoom right now is Na Ajili Bano, who is the coordinator of the Treasury Management, to help us better understand the significance of this year's conference. Na, grateful for your time this evening. What is the Financial Architecture Summit 2026? And really, many will ask, why is it important? Now you would have to unmute your microphone so I can hear you.
Good evening, and thank you for having me. Yes, the National Banking College, in partnership with the Sika Financial Group, is organizing the Financial Architecture Summit, which is slated for this Wednesday, 15th July, at the La Palme Royal Beach Hotel. And now this summit is a critical moment for us because, we know what is happening now. We see fraud cases on the rise. We see how technology is improving and how everybody is coming on board. So we've organized this to have policymakers, regulators, people from the financial institutions, fintech, cybersecurity, people from academia to meet together and discuss ways of improving our financial architecture. And the aim of this is to create a stable, inclusive, and technology-driven sector, especially at a time when digitalization and regulatory changes are coming with emerging risks in our space. And we've noticed over the past years, even this year, many of these organizations, people in the fintech space, cybersecurity space, they have their own events where they organize a program sharing there. But the college is bringing them all together, okay, so we can have a holistic discussion on what is happening here, now, and in the future.
And the theme for this year is innovating for sustainability. What really does it mean, stability?
All right, so innovation, we can agree that there's a lot happening. Technology is moving so drastically, the changes are so fast, and we all need to get along and try as much as possible, even to outrun it. So we are going to talk about how digital technologies are making financial services more accessible, and then the accompanying risks with all these innovations we are going to or we are experiencing. And we know that we need governance in that space. We need governance in that space. We need to regulate the space. Without regulation, everything goes haywire. So innovation is happening, but there has to be someone or an institution that can pull the brakes when things are going overboard. That's what we mean by economy. Our architecture should be stable, so everybody, moves along with it.
Okay. And I'm curious to know, why are central banking and digital finance really central to this year's discussion?
Definitely. The central bank is the regulator of the financial space, we all know. And I doubt there's any organization in Ghana which doesn't have a finance unit. So finance is very critical for every business. And we need the central bank's regulations to manage things in that space. We know digital payments, the rise of blockchain, Bitcoin, mobile money, AI, fintech. There's so much happening in the space. Okay. But the central bank and other regulatory bodies, SEC, maybe GSE, NIC, NPRA, all regulatory bodies need to modernize their tracking systems, their supervisory approaches in the end to maintain monetary and financial stability. When that is done, people like me and yourself, yes, who enjoy the system, we have more trust in our financial sector. So that is why we need the central bank's involvement in the digitalization going on in our time.
Now let's look at another thing. What is the meaning of, quote, the new architecture of Ghana's financial future?
Okay, so it's new because we are moving away from the old way of doing things. Formerly, we didn't have Momo. Now Momo is here, and it looks like it's here to stay indeed. Okay, not only that, but now you may not even need to walk to a bank to make payment or walk to a bank to withdraw money. Everything is digitalized. So there's newness in everything. All these are powered by different kinds of technology, okay? And looking into the future, there are going to be more things coming up, but we need to integrate our systems to cater for these new kinds of technology. We can speak of sustainable finance, ESG, things relating to ESG. We can think of cybersecurity, how fraud is on the rise now, what consumers need to pay attention to protect and safeguard themselves and their institutions. So even in the newness of the technology, there has to be newness in supervision, newness in building regulatory frameworks around these kinds of technology we have in our time.
And what makes the Financial Architecture Summit different from other financial conferences?
That's interesting because there are people who say these are talk shows. I can bet anyone hearing me, listening to me right now, if you are a board, a director, a CEO, a supervisor, a manager of any company in Ghana, please, this will not be like any other conference or summit you've attended. Okay, we are looking at the future, where the world is heading, where Ghana is heading, where the future really is. Okay, so it is for that reason we have government officials who will be present on that day. We'll have people in academia, I mentioned again, heads of financial institutions, the regulators themselves will be there on that day. And then we are going to have very meaningful panel discussions where we hear directly from all these people. Mind you, when the directors meet to discuss their strategic plans for their organizations, those decisions mostly are made from data and information. This summit will be a place for information.
Okay.
So come hear first-hand information so that when you go back to your organization, you can make very good decisions that will move your organization forward.
Right.
Okay. And like I mentioned, every important person in that space will be there. Of course, we can't take away the networking opportunities this event will offer. So come one, come all.
Now, finally, and very briefly, what message would you like to leave with the industry, the financial industry, and the general public?
Thank you. So what I would like everybody to know, the world is moving, the future is coming, and we need to be ready for it. If you're a business person, this is the place to be. Come one, again, come all, and let's deliberate. The policymakers will be there to listen. They listen. Thankfully, we have a very transparent central bank right now where the governor listens to what goes on, and then they can take their decisions from there. So please come, they will be there to listen, and then we can have a fruitful dialogue. And finally, before I leave, let me take the opportunity to say thank you to our partners, our sponsors. We have the Sika Financial Group, we have Mobile Money Fintech Limited, we have Zenith Bank, we have the Central Bank, and we are very grateful for all these organizations, including members of the Association of Ghana Industries. Thank you.
Now, there's no time on the flyer. What time is the program?
Okay, so we are going to have it on the 15th of July, 2026, which is this coming Wednesday. It will be at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, and we are starting at 9 a.m.
Okay.
But 9 a.m. is 9 a.m. So if you will be present, all those who are registered, all those who will be present, by 8:30, please do well to be there so you can go through a seamless registration process.
Right.
Sit down, settle, and then we kickstart the event at exactly 9 a.m.
Thank you very much for your time this evening. Na Ajele Bano is the coordinator of the Treasury Management. In other stories this evening, miners have besieged the wetlands of Ashrain, polluting the Subin River, in an activity they describe as a cooperative initiative endorsed by the Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program. The miners, working just inches away from the Bekwai-Esiwa Road, have so far failed to produce any mining licenses, with the exception of a letter signed by the Deputy Coordinator of RCOMSDEP, George Dadzi Jr. Traditional authorities tell Joy News the miners have failed to provide the needed mining licenses, but have brought in armed thugs to continue mining. Erastus Asaridonko reports.
Just at the edge of Ashrain, a small farming community in the Bekwai district of Ashanti region, excavators are busily attacking the wetlands. The mining activity is happening inches away from the Bekwai-Esiwa Road. The only thing separating this illegal activity from the tarred road is this fencing of roofing sheets. The EPA's environmental assessment regulations prohibit destructive activities, including mining in environmentally sensitive areas like wetlands, without thorough environmental impact assessments and special authorization. Mining in and around wetlands, such as river basins and marshes, requires explicit approval per the Water Resources Commission Act 1996, Act 522. But Joy News sources within the Ashireni Traditional Council indicate no such licenses have been adduced by the miners. The only document shown to them is a letter signed by Deputy National Coordinator for COMSDEP, George Dazi Jr., authorizing mobilizing of equipment to go on site for cooperative mining. A cooperative mining with no indigene as a shareholder, no EPA permit, and no mining license from the Minerals Commission. But already, the Subin River has been polluted, the wetlands gone, and mining inching closer to the main road. A man who calls himself Joshua called our news team claiming the site is a cooperative mining initiative. When I asked of his documents, he hung up.
From Joshua, cooperative mining, your office, a work school, a primary school, next I think I started every man. You say will be at you say you say, oh, okay, not just your own person abandoning to a demon baby man.
My number way or WhatsApp, child license in the Sunday, Minami.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Ashireni, Bekwai District, Ashanti Region.
The Ministry for the Interior says it has turned 73 assets linked to drug trafficking as parts of efforts to strengthen the country's fight against organized crime. Interior Minister Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak says the achievement has been driven by improved logistics for law enforcement agencies and the establishment of a dedicated court to prosecute narcotics-related offences. Speaking during the Vice President's working visit to the ministry, the minister said the interventions have enhanced the capacity of security agencies to tackle narcotics-related crimes and ensure that offenders are held accountable.
Returned in 2025, for almost 10 years, narcotics control have not received any equipment. But because of our resilience and fight that want to take the fight against narcotics to the ghettos and all the base and the massive, traffickers, we've equipped them with almost 22, logistical vehicles. And this is doing a lot of work for us because as we speak, we'll be able to tend 73 assets that are linked to people who are drug trafficking, because we are trying to move away from simply just getting those who have been caught either smoking or using it, but we are targeting those who are really bringing the drugs into our system. By the grace of God and the help of the Chief Justice, we'll be able to get a dedicated court to prosecute our narcotics offenses in a special court. And with the help of the Attorney General too, we've been able to be giving the prosecutorial powers to narcotics control. Instead of them getting their cases being prosecuted by the Attorney General, today they are prosecuting those things themselves, and we are training a crop of lawyers to make sure that they do it and do it very well so that the fight against narcotics is head on.
That's the Minister for the Interior, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, and my colleague Michelle Latte was at that event, and she's joining me in the studio with more. Michelle, the Minister said government is also making significant progress in reforming the country's correctional system. Tell us more.
So he spoke about the recently passed Community Services Bill, which has been passed now into an act. So then it's being waited and is waiting for an assent from the president. He also spoke about the paroles regulation, together with the community service bill that is the Community Service Act. He's looking forward to decongesting our prisons within the country, and especially to aid in the rehabilitation of these criminals once they come out of the prisons. We can hear from the minister.
Service bill passed into an act waiting for assent. And Madam, you know the importance of this community service. It's something that this country has been struggling for the past 34 years since we came into constitutional rule in 1992. By the grace of God, now it's been passed into an act. We've also been able to get the parole regulation in Parliament. It's now counting days. We are very sure in the next, I think so far it has done about 15 days, leaving about 6 days to get the 21 sitting days. The community service bill, together with the parole regulation, is what we hope to going to transform our correctional services drastically, because then it's going to help reduce congestion in our prisons. I mean, try to help inmates to improve their lot. We were also able to get the Public Holidays Amendment Act passed, where now holidays that are not religious or religious link work towards the weekend, to prolong the weekend. That is helping our tourism industry and then our entertainment industry. In terms of
And Michelle, it was the Vice President who paid a working visit to the Ministry for the Interior. What did she say?
So the minister the Vice President has been encouraging the ministry, especially to take key note of public education, because she believes that that is one way to restore public trust in the security agencies. I know from the past incidents that have been happening, police brutality, even recently on our own journalists, all these actions that are being taken against civilians. She says that there's a need to really train everyone to get to understand the work of the security agencies, and thereby going to increase the trust people have in these agencies. We can listen to the Vice President.
Right.
But you see, the major issue, or one of the major issues, I think, has to do with public trust. The public must have faith in us. They must have so much faith in us that they want to collaborate with us, because they believe in what we are doing. That in the end, it's about their own safety. So the perceptions are important. They may not even have any basis in objective reality, but they are important. We must be friendly. We must put ourselves out there for them to know that it's for their benefit that we exist. So I just want to put out there, so we don't exploit people, we don't intimidate people unnecessarily, but we explain the basis of our actions, so that those of us who fall outside of the regulations will know that we deserve some kind of treatment. So I want to put that out there.
Right, Michelle Latte is still with me. Michelle, aside from the Interior Ministry, where else did the Vice President go to?
So, Ken, the Vice President was also at the Ministry of Environment, and there, I mean, it's a working visit, so definitely you would hear about all the challenges. Significant of the challenges at the Ministry of Environment is with human resources, and you're looking at receiving clearance from the Finance Ministry to recruit about 400 scientists to put into their research and science institutions. They've been calling on the Vice President to help in fast-tracking these processes to ensure that they receive the necessary funding. They've been also raising concerns about encroachment on some of their lands, one of which is the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission. They have problems with encroachment. They've been appealing for funds to help in building fence walls to ensure that there's no encroachment on state assets. So that in general has been what has been going on with the Vice President's tour.
Michelle Latte, thank you very much. In a rather sad story this evening, Dagbon is in mourning following the death of Yana Abubakari Mahama II, the 41st overlord of the Dagbon Kingdom. The late king ascended the throne in 2019, ending nearly 2 decades of chieftaincy conflict between the Abudu and Andani royal gates that followed the 2002 murder of Yana Yakubu Andani II and 40 of his elders. His reign has seen massive development, leaving a legacy that will forever be remembered. In this report, Joy News' Martina Bugri and Abdul Wahab Humza look at his reign and what he stood for.
The Bang has lost a mighty tree. The lion of Africa is quiet now. The royal drum has fallen silent, and a pillar of tradition has passed. The entire kingdom is mourning after the death of the Yana, its revered king. In every traditional area, chiefs, elders, and citizens are grieving a monarch whose leadership and presence defined the kingdom. As traditional rites begin, according to Dagbon custom, people are paying their last respect and waiting for a word from the palace. This is more than the loss of a king. It is the loss of a symbol of unity, heritage, and authority. The late Yana Abukari Muhammad II became the 41st Yana, succeeding Yana Yakubu Andani II after nearly 2 decades of protracted chieftaincy dispute between the Abudu and the Andani royal families. Yana Abukari Muhammad II, before he ascended the throne, served as the chief of Pumpunu before moving to occupy Savilogo Skin in 2014. His leadership at Savilogo earned him recognition for his commitment to traditional governance, community development, and the promotion of peace. The journey of Yana Abukari Muhammad II to the highest traditional office in Dagbon followed years of conflict over the murder of Yana Yakubu Andani II and his successor. After years of mediation led by the government and eminent chiefs led by Otunfo Osei-Tutu II, the two sides agreed to a roadmap for peace. It was under that agreement Yana Abukari II was obtained by the kingmakers of Dagbon. On 18th of January 2019, he was enskinned with his king name Yana Abukari II at the Biwa Palace. His enskillment was witnessed by thousands of people, traditional rulers, government officials, religious leaders, and representatives from across the country. The event signified a major milestone in peace-building history, ending years of uncertainty surrounding the Dagbon throne. Yana Abukari Muhammad II will be remembered for promoting peace, unity, and development in Dagbon. He also championed education and youth development, agriculture, and economic development in his kingdom. His reign symbolized a new era of reconciliation and rebuilding after years of conflict. A great king has answered his maker's call, yet what he stood for will forever live in the heart of people of Dagbon. The report was filed by Martina Bugri and Abdul Wahab Humza Yakubu.
That's it for the pulse this evening. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. The news team returns at 7 p.m. with News Prime. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, have a good evening.
Hello beautiful people, welcome once again to Home Tips with Mira. You know the program is always about home tips, DIYs, things you can do yourself and home remedies. So today we are looking at the magical uses of onion. Apart from using onion to cook, there are other uses. You can use onion to cook your stews, your sauces, your stir fries or your soup. But apart from that, there's the other side of the usage of onions that I want to share with you. So let's go for a break, and when we come back, I'll share more on onions with you. Onions are one of the most used vegetables in cooking. I believe that even today, if you are cooking, you are going to use onion in your food. And there are different kinds of onion. There's a shallot, white onion, yellow onion, and the red or the purple onion. And then we have the spring onion. Depending on what you want to do, if it is for salad, somebody will go for the white onion. If it is sandwich, somebody can go for the yellow onion or the red onion. It depends on you. But each of the onions that I have here can be used in your cooking because each one has a distinct flavor. So it's based on your preference. Mostly, I use the shallots for cooking my soup. You know, peeling the shallot is a bit difficult, so I know most people don't like it, but you know, it adds some superb flavors to your meals when you cook with it. And then I have the spring onion. And before I talk about it, I just want to share with you how you can even store your spring onions. That is, if you have them in excess, just make sure that you wash them very well because usually there's sand all over it, and you can just chop the onions into pieces and then store it in a Ziploc bag, and then you keep it in the refrigerator or the freezer. Make sure that when you are sealing, when you get to the latter part, you don't seal, and then you squeeze for all the air to come out before you finally seal it. So here it is. I've taken all the air out. So you keep this in your fridge or your freezer. If it goes in the freezer, make sure that when you pick it like this, it goes straight into your stew and don't thaw it. Just put it in your stew or however you want to use it. And then you can use this rubber, you know, wrap it around. After you are finished washing it, you can just wrap it in this rubber and keep it in the refrigerator. It can be there for a very long time. So here you are, you keep this one in the refrigerator, not the freezer, the refrigerator. And what are some of the uses of this spring onion? In fact, you can use it in your stir fries, use it for your stew, you can add it with other herbs or ginger, onion and garlic, and then you blend, keep it in the fridge and use it, you know, to season your meat or marinate, or you can also use it in your green sauces. And one thing that you can also use this for is that when you are pounding your palm nuts for your palm nut soup, your abenquine, you can add this spring onions to the palm nut and pound. It gives it this you know, delicious flavor and aroma when you use it to make your soup. So try and always, you know, when you go to the market, get some of the spring onions, and when you come home, use it in your daily cooking. Right.
How come say we all day matter inside, we all they suffer? Something they cause me, they cause you, they cause your son and daughter. Where we all feel come together and try to sort each other. Then you go turn around and sell out just because of dollar. Man just they think how fast he go fetch up something today. Forget about him, people, make them find them our own way. Forgetting, say the same people put out for where he day. He cast too high to see suffering below, he's too far away. Them get eyes, but them know they see. Them get heart, but them know they feel. Some too they get mind, but them know they think. That be why we all day inside a boat where we they sink. I say them get eyes, but them know they see. Them get heart, but them know they feel. Some too they get mind, but them know they think. That be why we all day inside a boat where we they sink. Myopia, they know they they see nothing. Ice cold heart, they know they feel nothing. Bad minds, all they know they about you. Why we all day inside the boat where we they sink our sin. Myopia, they know they see nothing. Ice cold heart, they know they feel nothing. Bad minds, all they know they think about you. That be why we all day inside the boat where we they sink. I say them get ice, but them know they see. Them get hot, but them know they feel. Some too they get mind, but them know they think. That be why we all day inside the boat where we they sink. I say them get ice, but them know they see. Them get hot, but them know they feel. Some too they get mind, but them know they think. Tell me why we all day inside the boats where we the sink.
Not corruption. Vote buying silences the will of the people. Unchecked illicit political financing weakens the very sovereignty of a state. Democracy falters when everyone's choice is compromised. An unprecedented multimedia politician-citizen forum brought to you by Joy News Impact Makers Foundation. This community-level engagement will spotlight illicit political financing, explore its implications, and proffer solutions to safeguarding Ghana's democracy. Democracy is not for sale on Joy News, Adom TV, Joy FM, Adom FM, and across our social media platforms.
I didn't think it would happen to me, but it happened to me.
Ghana's digital economy is booming. Millions of transactions, millions of cities, a future powered by technology. But beneath the convenience lies a growing threat.
Now it's becoming more towards digital fraud.
If we place convenience excessively over security, run the risk of breaking down the number one currency that we have in that ecosystem, and that is trust.
The Digital Economy Forum is a thought leadership series examining the opportunities, risks, and choices shaping Ghana's economic future. In our maiden edition, we tackle a critical issue, the trust crisis, why fraud is holding back Ghana's digital economy.
We need to have a 360-degree solution.
Join Head of FinTech and Innovation at the Bank of Ghana, Elhanan Oreku-Asare, Economics Professor Godfred Bokpin, CEO of Ghana Association of Banks, John Ewua, Executive Chairman of E-Crime Bureau, Dr. Albert Enchibuesiako, Chief Risk